Contenders is a place where new players go to refine, perfect their skills, and show they have what it takes to be the stars of tomorrow. Where the vets prove to the world, demonstrate that they can retain and surpass former glory. But those opportunities aren't going to be given to you for free. You've got to fight your way tooth and nail to get there, and that's where we come in. My name is Bull Skunk. This is Chef Billy, and we are here with Contenders Trials NA, brought to you by Monkey Bubble Reflash.
Yep, and proving time is here, Bull Skunk. It is time for us to get into the proving grounds. That is Trials, looking for the coveted 4 spots to get up into Contenders proper for the end of the month tournament, the first one of this season. It was a long winter. I was so missing my Overwatch. I was missing support tier 2. I was missing chanting that. I mean, it's been a long winter for me at least. And but we're back. And now we get to bring you the action once again. And looking at what happened earlier today in Europe, 2 5-map thrillers brought to you by Thibbledork and Big Hungry Phil. And now it's our turn. Tip of the hat to our friends over there across the pond. But man, today we've got 2 bangers coming up. I mean, we've got a possible rivalry in the making in our first match. And then we've got old versus new coming in our second match.
Yeah, so let's take a look at our schedule for the day, what action we've got in store for you, our friends. A little bit later on, we're going to see Ardour taking on Revival. Ardour is an opponent that Revival said they're particularly worried about. I'm curious to see what kind of adaptations they've made. But first and foremost, Obey Alliance versus Susanoo. And like you said, I think this is a rivalry in the making. They faced each other in a community tournament just a couple weeks ago. Those were your 2 grand finalists in that 6v6 escort tournament. And Susanoo was able to take the dub there. But Obey Alliance, I mean, this is an org that was founded in July of 2020, and they are just gilded in success. They just permeate wins. As far as the org is concerned, that's what they're used to. Of course, that was over in the EU region. Now, you're seeing Obey Alliance on the screen. You're like, wait a minute, we're in NA, right? You're not mistaken. Obey Alliance have made the jump. They are now competing in the North American region, and they've got a brand new roster to try to continue that path of success.
Yeah, and Susanoo, like you mentioned, not only did they take down Obey Alliance in the grand finals, they lost to a dark mode team that's already in Contenders proper. They also lost to Odyssey, or they beat Odyssey, actually a Contenders team there. So the confidence coming into Trials here has got to be huge for them. They've got to be just riding on a wave of momentum. And I think that going up against Obey Alliance, it's going to be a main tank battle to start us off. Who's going to be able to claim the space the best? I think that's where we will start looking at how these 2 teams really engage with each other. How do they get into each other's heads? I want to see the Rhine mind battles just going on, raging. Who's going to be able to get the slippery shatter around the shielding? And I mean, this really does set up for one of the newer rivalries here in our NA region.
Both these teams coming off of 3-0 victories yesterday, so far neither have dropped a map through 1 day of Trials, but obviously that's going to change headed into day 2. Infected leading the charge for Susanoo. We're talking about a 13-year-old main tank player, and we were treated with an interview with him yesterday, and he was talking about their strategy is just pure press W. They have this infallible confidence about them. And it seemed to serve them very well. They play at a very fast tempo. They're very confident they can find the kills. Their focus fire is good, but Obey Alliance is going to be a smart team. This is a team that's going to know how to peel, know how to play the push and pull and strike back. Moving past the tank line, I'm really keeping an eye on the supports for both these teams as well. Switch and Angelic really showed up yesterday. Angelic played on Square One for 2 years and was serviceable, had some solid moments, but also some questionable moments. Looked like a brand new player yesterday. Angelic was on fire. Switch on the Baptiste was clicking heads left and right. This support duo is going to be mean, but they're going up against Tensa and Moser on the other side. Tensa, very, very smart support player. Played on the original GOATS team. Like, this is a player that will definitely give Switch and Angelic a run for their money.
I also think that, looking at the off-tank role, I think that Cowman versus Gummy, if you're looking at Susanoo, a lot of their team does come from Infamous and then Scion. So, I mean, you've also brought the coach over as well. There's the built-in synergy right there. And I think that's going to help these newer players, these rookie players that they picked up in the offseason, really get together. And really I couldn't get my tongue around that word. It was congeal, the word that I was trying to say, but the old tongue would not work. But it's, as they congeal together as a unit, I really think that just bringing that veteran leadership and coaching in to Susanoo right now is going to be what is going to elevate them. Obey Alliance, though, I mean, a lot of them coming from Revival and Noble. You've got, Matt Merck coming in from Majestados in South America, also with Dark Mode NA. So, I mean, the pedigree is there as well. A lot of these players know each other from other teams. I think that's where the rivalry really starts to heat up because they have played against each other on various teams. And if they can bring that in here and bring that hunger and that passion, we're going to see it on screen here as we head into Busan.
Yep, first map is fixed. It will be loser pick, not only in the map itself, but game type. As we head through this first of 3 series, we are looking at the May McCree brawl coming out from both sides as they vie for high ground. Early wall up from Sai in response from Echo. Things are feeling a little cold, a little claustrophobic on a mecha base. Matt Merck is going to go down, but Susanoo lose their mate in the process. So advantage to Susanoo there because, well, you don't have that shield to worry about. You don't have the main tank to worry about. They need to get aggressive and just pursue these kills. They're able to take out Cowman as well. And they're just going to go and rotate down to the point. Matt Merck is going to return to the fight, but Echo does not make the rotation. Gets punished along the way. It is a player advantage for Susanoo on this point as the Baptiste throws the Ant Matrix in the back and Infected gets caught out, bit a little bit more than they can chew, and now this advantage has swapped right back over. We'll see if Obey Alliance can flip this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now it's just trying to stall out for as much as you can get. Great flashbang into the May player there, but Foreshadow does get the trade in return. Right now, I mean, the Shatter coming out from Infected, that's got to be a big aggression point for them.
It switches right there to follow up on it. Infected return to the fight with a vengeance. And the flip coming through. Susanoo never gave up control of the point.
Yeah, they never did. I mean, just the quick rotations and, the speed right now of Angelic, making sure they can get the team back, the stragglers that happen to get caught out. Now, here's where you start to play the games. Here's where you start to really buy the space that you need to hold this point. Looks like they're going to go to the right side to try and rotate behind them, Cowman behind them. Close to a self-destruct. Right now, Petal, pull out the cooldowns and see if you can drop the self-destruct over top.
Yeah, Petal went ahead and invested the Deadeye. I'm surprised they didn't wait for the Blizzard on that one. But still, take ult ready to go, and now Infectus is not on the battlefield. This could be a free shatter for Matt Merck moving forward as Obey Alliance make their way in. They've got a couple kills on the way. Shatter's going to go through into the back. That's going to find a pair. The kills immediately lit up in the feed. And Obey Alliance should finally flip this point. That was an interesting Maywall elevating the Reinhardts to new heights.
Oh, man. I mean, just great coordination there. I mean, obviously taking down Infected in the beginning of the fight gave you that free shatter. And, I mean, everything playing right there for Obey Alliance. However, I mean, they already are looking at a 78% difference to them. So, start this next fight off, maybe using the amplification matrix to really deny the walls coming in.
Oh, and that was a beautiful wall that Echo combined with the Blizzard. And Susanoo are just in a world of hurt. Infected already went down. The Immortality Field, not enough to keep them alive in the fight. And the punish continues to come through as Maywall is forced out from side just to try to protect the retreat.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good, smart amount of kite back there. I mean, obviously the wall comes up relatively quickly, but into this next fight, you're going to have the you're going to have the Blizzard from Psy. That should be your initiator. It just depends on how Infected gets around the shielding of Matt Merck, who almost has another Shatter online.
Oh, another beautiful wall from Echo to start off the fight. Petal's able to land the shot and Infected falling early in a lot of these fights. It's forcing Susanoo onto the back foot. They're trying to engage without their Reinhardt, and Echo's able to just clean up with no shield to protect the remainder of Susanoo.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got 3 ults to really defend the point here from Obey Alliance, and as my feed goes kind of wonky there, but I mean, still, you're going to have this Blizzard, but getting Foreshadow out first off, that's a massive major part of your damage coming in here, and now you're going to have to wait another amount of time to get him back onto the field. I mean, he's close to Deadeye. You might be able to drop it in combination with the Blizzard from Psy.
They're looking at a massive ult bank there for Obey Alliance. Oh, they don't even need the sound barrier. The Blizzard gets eaten. They're able to use the sound barrier on Tempo, move in with a massive advantage, a massive shatter, and Obey Alliance have secured control of this point. They're going to start off day 2 in A with a round win on Mecha Base.
Yeah, and I mean, that was absolutely weird coming in from them. As we look, and see, they just had everything in their motion. Once they got the flip of the point, their ultimate rotation was so much more rehearsed. It was so much more thoughtfully considered when they were going through it. I mean, you see just the cogs, the call outs. Okay, we're going to go ahead and throw a wall up and give Amp Matrix. Yeah, bust the lamp. It's going down. So, they absolutely rotated their ultimates in the best way there. Now what I want to see is how do we get was kind of a brawly, more mobile map here coming out in downtown. Matt Merck is showing us the Wrecking Ball right now. I mean, I'm not sure how Infected and Gummy are going to be able to deal with the speed of the Wrecking Ball here.
Yeah, Obey Alliance going with the aerial dive, Echo on the Echo. They've also got the Zenyatta and the Mercy there. Obviously, the Mercy's there for that pocket, and the Discord Orbs can make Infected's life very difficult. Susanoo are going to have to isolate targets, see if they can pick Obey Alliance apart before they start losing reinforcements themselves. As they make their way onto the objective, and they're just going to bunker up into that corner, but they're putting their backs against a wall. This can be a very dangerous spot. Immortality Field already used. Echo already with a duplicate. He's going to go in. Oh, hits the Lucio. I think they were aiming for the Reinhardt, and the Lucio got in the way of the dupe, but Matt Merck still rolls through the pack, picks up 3, and Obey Alliance will win the fight.
I mean, they just huddled together like mice in a closet there and just got absolutely obliterated. We won't talk about the Echo duplicate there, but what we see now is the swap. It's the recognition of the mobility coming in from the Wrecking Ball. So in fact, it's going to bring out the Winston that I did not see him play yesterday. So we'll see if he's serviceable on the Winston as well, because now you're going to match the mobility, and the cleave damage is also going to be brought to bear for our Obey Alliance.
But they've reset their ult economy. I mean, as both support ults come out, really bolstering Obey Alliance. It's Susanoo just need to fall back, but Infected still commits into those 2 support ults and just gets burned down. Switch falls as well. It's your 2 most important members gone, and the rest are easy pickings for Obey.
Yep, and I mean, looking at Petal, did happen to drop that EMP. I don't know if they got enough value out of it, but I mean, the value is there. And I mean, there's kind of a stagger kills going on right now. I mean, the mobility will get you back to the point fast enough. But, I mean, Infected is going to have to wait for his supports to come in here. You're going to be able to maybe go in on Sound Barrier, on Tempo. That is probably your win condition right now. Do you save it for the mines, or do you just go in on Tempo?
Well, the EMP had come out last fight, so Angelic does have a little bit more freedom to use that Sound Barrier. Psy needs to build up this EMP of their own. 70% on the board for Obey. As Susanoo walks around to the left-hand side, finds a pick all along the way, is going to throw down both of their support ults. Coalescence out, shields for most of the squad, as they go in and look to focus down Calman. Calman does have the bomb, is able to get back in No! In fact, it takes them down. Moser falls as well. Susanoo finally putting together a coordinated assault, and now they've got Matt Merck hacked up in their sides. Back into spawn you go, little hamster.
Yeah, and great recognition of them to decide to go over just a full-on dive here. I mean, Psy right now is going to be the hero for the team, because the hacks are going to absolutely create hell for Matt Merck on this Wrecking Ball. Really not so much of the hack targets for Petal. I mean, obviously you want to get the Diva. You want to look for the Diva. You want to look for the Moira, obviously. So, I mean, coming in this next fight, there's the EMP out from Psy.
Yeah, but the Transcendence is there. Tins is able to stay up. Echo not so lucky, but Calman and Matt Merck are going to find a couple picks, including the Moira on the other side. Susanoo do not have a lot of sustain left on this point. It's going to force Infected to drop down this Primal Rage, try to buy as much time as possible, but they can't. They have no room to give. There's 98% for Obey Alliance. Susanoo have to hold on to this as long as they can to try to get reinforcements back, to try to allow for Foreshadow to do just that, drop the Pulse Bomb in. Echo's going to go in and use the duplicate, pulls out a Primal of their own, and Foreshadow is going to fall. Mines are on the point as well. Oh, and Angelic goes down. Their one hope might have been getting that sound barrier online, but both supports absent. Obey Alliance will take map 1 after just a touch of cleanup.
Yeah, I mean, this is just beautiful work from them. They recognized their win condition. Once they took down Switch on the Moira, they knew that it was all over from there. Gummy trying to get the remech and self-destruct just to stall out any bit longer. And, I mean, they just took him out before it was ever really on. So, I mean, great win condition of the win conditions there. This is the first map that Susanoo has lost now. In our trials, they are now 3-1 in their map score, so their map differential down to 2. And this could be something moving forward with our round robin format that we have going on. This could be a bit of a storyline going on here because, I mean, everybody plays everybody. And I think this is going to be one of the top tier billings here for our NA trials here. These are two of the top teams, and they made it look easy at times, did Obey Alliance.
Well, they won the composition pick on that second round. You know, coming out with the Ball Diva, they were able to dismantle the Brawl composition, and then it forced swaps from Susanoo on the other side. And then they were just so behind in the ult economy. Obey Alliance was able to get up more EMPs. They had the support ults available to counter Susanoo's ultimates, and they just steamrolled it from there, played it very smart, and it netted them the first map. That was pretty convincing, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, Somber Diff also, Petal, hello. Wonderful job on the Mexican hero there. I think that, honestly, it may not have been so much of comp diff as Susanoo not recognizing what the win condition was. Once they saw the Wrecking Ball Diva, you should have immediately gone back and pulled out the Sombra and pulled out the Mei. I think the Mei would have been a better choice there. You know, you get the hacks there, you get the freeze, you get the deletion. You throw the walls up to deny the escapability of the Wrecking Ball, and then you deal with the Diva after that. So, I mean, there was different ways that they could have handled that fight and that map. But, you know, as it is, Obey Alliance came out and just punched them in the jaw and really took it to them, and that's why they're up 1-0 right now.
And go back to Mecha Base, Obey Alliance won the Brawl War as well. And of course, that map, you know, once you get control, it's very difficult to retake, particularly going into a Mei Brawl, where you can just wall up and divide. Yep. We saw Echo using that Mei to pretty much perfection on Mecha Base. So far, it seems like whether it's Dive, whether it's Brawl, Obey Alliance have the edge.
Yeah, and I mean, Petal and Echo just absolutely destroying on their ends. I really wanted to throw out a shout out to Moser, too, on the Zenyatta. That Transcendence that he threw out there, absolutely saving the progress that they were being made. And, oh, boy, I mean, if we're looking for Brawl today, we're going to get it because Kings Row is going to be our next map. And they did win the Brawl battle. Now, they had to come back and win the Brawl battle because Susanoo actually won the first Brawl coming out of Mecha Base. So this might be a slightly different map than what we might be expecting because I think that Infected wants to run that Reinhardt. I think you absolutely run that into Obey and really let him get aggressive. I think that bringing out maybe an Ana or bringing the Moira with the burst healing there as well. I think you've got to enable your Reinhardt here. Let Mei do Mei things. Let McCree if you're going to run that, or Tracer if you're going to run that. I'm personally kind of leaning towards the Sombra Mei, especially if you see the Wrecking Ball out there. Once you see Ball out there, you need to be swapping immediately to a Sombra Mei. Get the walls, get the hacks, get the freezes, get the deletions. I think you deal with Matt Merck on the Ball very easily in that instance.
Yeah, my concern with that is you don't have a whole lot of raw damage with Sombra Mei. And I'd be surprised if Matt returns on the Wrecking Ball for Kings Row. I mean, I'm anticipating full-on Brawl here, but hey, that's what they're showing us with 40 seconds to change their mind, so let's shift our attention over to this defense. No surprises on this end. May McCree, it's Reinhardt Diva. You've seen it plenty of times already over the past couple days. Switch on that Baptiste. This support line needs to make sure they're getting max value. The sound barriers need to be timed right. They need to make sure and get as many people as possible. And Switch needs to use these Ant Matrix and this Immortality field and get absolute max value from the cooldown and ult respectively. If Susanoo want to take this map too.
Yeah, I mean, Petal obviously looking for the initial pick, see if they can get anything out of that. Echo going over to the May, so it looks like people probably get the mirror comp coming out from both sides here. We do see that, so glad to see that things are right in my neighborhood right now. Right now, it's going to be all about can Sai and company wall off Matt Merck and get the immediate damage into it, but no! Petal takes down Angelic, and there is the Immortality field out. This is disastrous for Susanoo in the beginning. Oh my word, Matt Merck.
Yep, it was Echo's Maywall right out of the gate. They had a little celebratory tactical crouch going on there. Get those squats in. It's all right, you got some downtime. Might as well exercise.
Yep, work on those glutes. 550 going into Streets phase. Obviously, the ult economy is too soon to really come to bear. But closest up right now, I mean, I'm looking at Sai. Sai has got to get a better wall off next time. They've got to be more proactive with the positioning of the wall to really stop the aggression coming in. And we'll see if they can do that into this next fight. Moser, though, he might be able to initiate with the Amp Matrix coming through. He's already on 95%.
Yeah, Tenzo leading in the sound barrier department as well, and indeed the Ant Matrix is going to come out early, and that wall is blocked and infected. For Shadow and Gummy are trying to bring it back. They're able to pick up a kill apiece and give the edge over to Susanoo and allow them to stabilize at Bookstore. Infected has to do a better job of playing around these May walls, though.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think that if he's gonna be that aggressive, he's got to be mindful of, kind of doing the Ryan rock and roll where you go WS, you try to like bait it out almost, and if you do, then you try to get on top of it. Here comes the self-destruct over the top. That's going to be dangerous.
Matt Merck went down immediately following their shatter from a well-timed Deadeye. For Shadow really saving him on that one and keeping Obey alive, or keeping Susanoo in this fight, because Infected Shatter didn't find any value.
Are you saying that he foreshadowed his Deadeye?
He foreshadowed the shatter? He foreshadowed.
Yes. He foreshadowed. There is the answering Deadeye.
Petal's gonna find a pair. That's Angelic and Infected gone. No more speed, no more shield. And Foreshadow is out of the fight. Obey Alliance return fire and land those shots true, marching through Streets phase now.
Now they have taken a minute 50 off the clock so far. So I mean, right now they're trying to waste time as best they can. They've got it. They've got the self-destruct that might be able to do something more of a remech possibility for a stagger and late contest. But I mean, you're running into 3 ultimates from Obey Alliance. Gummy, I hope you're hungry for an ice cream cone because you really need something to turn this fight around.
Switch is gonna drop the matrix early, same from the other side. Gummy eats the ice cream cone, indeed, huge eat. And now the sound barrier used from Susanoo to try to get aggressive. Kill's going back and forth there for a moment, but Switch is able to put down enough damage from the back. Gummy and Foreshadow getting in the mix, and Susanoo hold on the back of point B.
We saw Switch turn away from absolutely mowing down Cowman in the Pilot Diva form. Turned away from that to go make sure that the rest of the team stayed up. The late stagger on that was absolutely ruthless. And now, you got another, almost 2 minutes off the clock here. And going into this next fight, both DPS ultimates for Susanoo. This is going to be the moment where we see, are they going to be able to hold? Are they going to be able to stop the aggression coming in? That's a great wall from Sai.
Yeah, but an equally good wall from the other side, and Susanoo's not able to pursue. Obey Alliance are going to kite back. They're going to rotate and go all the way around. Drop the Deadeye, looking for the Shatter. They've got to worry about the bomb in the back, but the Deadeye takes down Infected. The Shatter's going to be free, and it's going to be big. It's going to land on a Gummy and Switch. The Blizzard trying to fend off the attacks, but it will not succeed. Obey Alliance will not be denied point B.
Yeah, that was just play and counterplay, wasn't it, Bull Skunk? We saw Gummy throw the self-destruct and try to stop the damage coming in from the backside rotation. And Cowman just waited it out and said, I've got one of these too. And you're down, you're Dunsky. Bye-bye. There's 0.2, 340 on the clock to go through this last bit of King's Row. But you do have Shatter. And you've also got the Ant Matrix. Hold it on the corner. There it is.
Infected almost through there. You know, I was thinking about it. Now the Shatter comes through, but it gets blocked. No value there, and they're in a tough spot. Immortality Field forced out early, and Echo has this Blizzard ready to go. No support ults for Susanoo to try to fend this off. But fortunately for them, Obey has to wait for Matt Merck to get back to the fight.
Oh, but here's the thing. You can actually wait for Tensa's sound barrier to go up and go in on Temple because you know they have nothing in the tank, and then hold that arrow or that Echo Blizzard for the last moment.
We need a big eat, and don't get it. Echo is going to freeze Infected up. In fact, many members of Susanoo are infected. Their logo needs to be a popsicle and not a sword right now, Billy.
They absolutely just threw that Blizzard there willy-nilly. They knew that they had the space to do it in, and they cleaned everything up. Dueling Deadeyes coming out for the next fight. Tensa has this sound barrier. You can absolutely hold yourself up to it.
Yeah, Size coming up on a Blizzard, though. That might be the one thing you would want to save it for. Shadow finds an early DMAC could be just a lead, because now there's no Diva to eat up that Blizzard. It looks like Obey Alliance recognized this threat, and they're just going to do a soft reset and try to hold this forest corner as Susanoo try to pursue some exit kills.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to build up a little bit more towards that Blizzard. I mean, you're trying to build up a little bit more towards that self-destruct. 2 minutes coming up on this fight. And, I mean, looking at the ult economy, I think the most impactful one right now is going to be the dueling sound barriers. Yeah, that's the advantage of Susanoo on that one, though, because they have that Blizzard. I think they can be a little bit more liberal with Angelic Sound Barrier. See if Matt Merck lands another big shatter. Looping around. Infected is kind of might have left the team open, but the Maywall is there to deny the opportunity for Matt Merck to lay down the hammer. And Gummy is able to pick up a kill, courtesy of that Blizzard coming through. Petal is going to find a late kill onto Psy, and Infected's got themselves in a little bit of an odd spot over here, and it's going to prompt Obey Alliance to try to continue this fight. But it may have been a bait as they ran into a lot of damage and realized, nope, we got to get out. Yeah, now he's still holding on to that sound barrier as Angelic, so I mean, they absolutely have the advantage now. You can hold it for the Blizzard that's coming in. Just make sure that you're pathing the right out of the way of Petal's Deadeye. Shatter for Merc. Pushing in. 1 minute on the clock. Ant Matrix out for the defense, and the Shatter gets blocked by the Maywall. I believe their own Maywall, as a matter of fact. The sound barrier and the Ant Matrix down for the defending Susanoo. But the Blizzard makes it through. Self-destruct out denies too much follow-up, but the kills go back and forth. It's a 4v4. Defense missing their main tank as Switch is sitting in the back desperately trying to keep Susanoo alive throughout this fight, and Psy will not benefit. Does it still go down? Obey Alliance trying to finish this off without a main tank of their own. They lost Matt Merck along all this. Moser's able to pick up 2. And despite not having their Reinhardt, Obey Alliance are able to frag this out and push the cart home. 3 points on the board, 22 seconds on the clock. They started with 5 minutes. So, I mean, that was an incredible hold. They're just knocking it down to 22 seconds. That's absolutely manageable if you are Susanoo. So now comes the real games. What does Susanoo do to really match what Obey Alliance did there? Because the take of point A was absolutely lightning. They've got a lot of value where you wouldn't necessarily expecting it. The sound barriers were great. I really loved Moser's Ant Matrixes as well. He placed them into a wonderful positions. The angles really blocked the ability for Susanoo to have this aggression coming through where they wanted to defend at. Let's watch for Moser's Ant Matrixes once again. Yeah, the timing on those are so key in enabling your main tanks to do what they need to do and get up and win the frontline war. And Infected, tried to go with that trademark aggression that they were talking about yesterday, but got punched in the mouth a little bit, and you heard the phrase, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And I'm worried Infected's getting a little nervous. Just needs to calm down and play their game. No mistakes on this one. Don't make any easy mistakes, at least, as they're trying to move in. Infected shield already cracked. But Obey Alliance are kiting back, giving them just a little bit of space, allow for the cooldowns to come back, decide that time is nay, and pushes in. Angelic gets caught in the wall and taken down. Infected does get some revenge for that kill, but also falls in the process.
4v4 on the point. This should favor Susanoo with those respawns.
Yeah, absolutely. Pedal was on 10 health there and just got deleted by Foreshadow there. And now great wall coming out there. There's a great understanding of where Tensa was trying to go. That's beautiful work coming out of Foreshadow. And for their effort, they have a Deadeye going on through this Streets phase. We're looking at ultimates here. Boy, this is a time as good as any to see one of those amplification matrix coming out of Moser, because he can hold this corner just offside of Bookstore and just pump the damage through. I'm kind of surprised that they haven't thrown themselves up towards Archway, though.
Nice May wall from side. It looks like most people made on the other side. In fact, it is doing a better job of playing around those same walls from Echo as the Ant Matrix and the Blizzard come out. In fact, dueling Blizzards on this point. Sound Barrier is there for Obey Alliance, but it's still not enough to give him the edge. On paper, that should have won him that fight, but no! Now they're open to a big Shatter coming through, and for Shadow, the Korean-born McCree is moving in and laying down the Peacekeeper, fanning those fires onto Cowman.
Yeah, but I mean, the contest still is pretty good here still, but they do finally get the kills that they need to start the progress up again. And boy, did they handle that fight well. I thought that the flank Baptiste, which you don't normally see, I think that wall that you mentioned about Psy absolutely cut him off from his team. And Foreshadow is just ringing true with the Peacekeeper. One fight here to separate us between points B and C. Gummy, this might be a good time as any to try and, maybe pull out an Immortality Field and throw a bomb in.
Double self-destruct going out. Both teams just kind of retreat into cover. We're going to get the Deadeye through the Ant Matrix. Finds Moser early. Big pick. Psy doing a good job of getting the Immortality Field down just in the nick of time. Matt Mark is going to fall as well as Foreshadow finds the D-Mech through that double damage. And Susanoo continue to roll this momentum. They will pick up point B, but it looks like we're getting a little bit of a pause first, Billy.
Yeah, I think something actually, maybe somebody DC'd out of the server, or maybe a equipment error, something like that. But that was almost indicative of a DC that we see in the Overwatch League. So, yeah, it is weird, but we'll see what happens out of this next fight, because they're knocking on the door of point C right now, and nothing to stand between them. So they're going to have a pretty healthy time bank going in there. We did see both Divas use their self-destruct there, so that is going to be off the table for both teams. What I'm looking for next is, who's going to get the first Shatter, I think. Is it going to be Matt? Is it going to be Infected? I think Infected, you hit on a point. He might be feeling the pressure of a seasoned main tank here in Trials that he may have not have felt before, because he didn't have to go through the open division. He got signed by Susanoo in the off season, so he didn't have that open division kind of getting used to the scene experience that the main tank from Ardour did during their rise here. I'm sorry, not Ardour. No, it was Marysville. I'm sorry. They were here before, but going into it, I mean, he doesn't have that same kind of clutch match experience. These matches that mean so much more. So we'll see if he can calm down. This might be a good opportunity for them to get, kind of give him a little bit of a woosaw break, kind of get your nerves under control.
No, you just calm down, play your game. Did a much better job on Streets phase, which I'd like to recap a little bit. That was a really important Streets phase for Susanoo. They went into point B a little bit behind on ultimates, most notably in the Sound Barrier, which, again, on paper is just a massive advantage, one of the most important ultimates in the game. And they're able to weather that storm and still win that fight around Bookstore. This swung not only the just sheer momentum, but the ult economy, more importantly. And then they're able to push into that final fight and swing that ult economy even further and continue to press the advantage. It's a great turnaround. And I think that during that Streets phase, we saw Susanoo kind of coming into their own a little bit. Foreshadow starting to warm up. Infected, I think, is starting to lower that pulse a little bit, get that heart rate back down, and just really play their game. I mean, yeah, you want to be aggressive, you want to be decisive, but you don't want to be fidgety about it. You still need to be calm and collected in your aggression.
There was a tinge of being out of control.
Right.
You don't want to be rash as a Ryan player. You can't be reckless as well.
You'll get punished.
You have to be measured. when you go in with it. So I think that that Gummy staying on his tail and mitigating a lot of damage right now, I think is also helping him feel a little bit more secure in what he's trying to accomplish. I think that they made that call, kind of hang back with the D.Va, don't get too far ahead so that, Gummy can get back and do the peel for the DPS and the supports as they need it. So, that being said, wow, the supports right now have been lighting up my life, and I'm living for it. Moser has been laying down some of the most beautiful amp matrices. He had another good one there. But and looking and what we countered there, I mean, we saw it. So as I pull my notes out of Narnia here, we saw Switch bringing out their own, and I mean, we saw it again.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Switch actually came in their own too.
Yeah, that last fight on point B, that Ant Matrix was perfect. Like, that was just when it needed to be. For Shadow landing the shots through it, put the Deadeye through it, which makes those goals come up that much faster. And Psy taking down the Immortality field on the opposition of Obey Alliance right before pulling the trigger on the Deadeye. I mean, that was all enabled by Switch on that Baptiste and that well-placed, well-timed Amplification Matrix.
Yep, absolutely. That was absolutely the clutch piece that came out. That was just the cherry on top that really set them up for the maximum value there that they got around the corner and won that last fight. I mean, it was just a kill onto the poor unwitting May there, and that's where we kind of left it at. So we'll see what it brings.
Well, and it's these new players coming in, right? We were talking about Susanoo had 3 of their players are returning players from last season. And you've brought in Infected in his front role. You've brought in Angelic from Square One, and you've brought in Foreshadow. And it seems to be working out for him. I mean, it's going to take a little time for that to all gel, but I think we really saw it come together on point B. Now they've got just under 5 minutes to push into the back of Foundry.
I mean, we're going to have dueling blizzards again, but I mean, Gummy, are you hungry for an ice cream cone? You showed me once before that you were. Can we see it again for your attack phase?
It's not as pressing as the sound barriers there. As Psy drop theirs first, and they're able to find the value. Echo is able to get that one out, but Susanoo had the advantage. Now it's just being swung the other way as Moser taking Infected down means that Susanoo has to slow their roll.
They absolutely do. I mean, I don't think they were expecting those kills to come in because they were up 3, and then Petal and Moser just started mowing people down. So, I mean, here's another one of these amplification matrices ready to go from Obey. If you place it right, once again, you're gonna have to respect it. That's the thing. You have to respect the amp matrix and its placement, and Moser has been absolutely chef's kiss on it all day.
Amp Matrix is down, the Deadeye coming out, but that just gets gobbled up on the other side. Shatter comes through, is going to find 3, including Switch. Without the Baptiste, there's just nobody there to keep Susanoo in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, they only invested 2 ultimates into that fight as well, Bullskug. I mean, they only put in the Amp Matrix and the Shatter. So, wonderful economy, wonderful discipline as well from Obey Alliance in that last fight. Now, Susanoo, I mean, where do you path this? I like the fact that they're not just trying to ram it up mid. They're trying to give a different look here. But here comes the Amp Matrix out from Switch. Do you get anything out of this?
Deadeye and Sound Barrier from the other side. Getting Intense Sound Barrier out is a great win because it puts a lot of pressure now on Calman Ethos, who's just now getting back into mech. Is got 1 tick health. No, D-Mech side now with the Blizzard. Oh, but throws it down, but Echo counters with one of their own. And hey, Susanoo still managing to bring it back. Both Reinhardt's off the battlefield. You've got Angelic and Gummy trying to loop it to the inside while Foreshadow just lays down the piece with the McCree.
Yep, and I mean, Moser's going to come out with the Amp Matrix. They can set up here on this far right platform and just pour the damage in. Somebody's going to have to get in there and touch. I mean, really, nobody has enough towards the ultimate to get an ultimate off here, but look at the rotation from Gummy. Trying to get behind them, that's a beautiful amount of work from the D.Va player for Susanoo.
Infected! That was not the play, bud. You went in too far. You went in too deep, and you got punished. The Shatter got nothing, and now you've given a chance for Obey Alliance to stop the progress on this cart. They're going to find the kill. Susanoo not even allowed to escape, courtesy of that Maywall. Oh, and a beautiful icicle to finish it off.
Yeah, that's brain freeze right there. Yeah, just sent back to spawn as quick as you like. Now Shatter will be the initiator here for Obey Alliance as they come around the corner. You don't have to worry about the Am Matrix since it came out in that last fight from Obey Alliance, so that is the one saving grace. But I mean, look at Echo and Psy, even again on the Blizzard counter.
Infect is just going to get taken down, and Obey doesn't. I mean, they just needed one ultimate to win that fight. If you're Susanoo, you'd have hoped to try to get more ults out and maybe build up some more of your own, but that was too fast.
Too fast, and what a late stagger on the side. That's going to waste at least another 10 seconds for them as we're starting to get close to the 1 minute barrier. And Gummy, I think Gummy might be able to get something off with this self-destruct. I'd love to see the Shatter bomb come out once again, or, you know, maybe Blizzard bomb, something in combination with it. Don't just try to chuck it out there. Well, they just chuck it out there.
It gets blocked by a May wall immediately. Side does have Blizzard online, and Titsy's going to go ahead and use their sound barrier early. The Shatter came down and picked up too, but so far, no, self-destruct with it. I was going to say, Susanoo still had a chance, but Cowman just sealed that deal with a big bomb into the back line.
Now we're wondering, are they even going to be able to complete this map? They have 0 in the bank. I mean, you've got the sound barrier that you can go in on, but you got to hold it for the Blizzard. Foreshadow has been wonderful with the Peacekeeper, but do you have anything to pair with it? On its own, it might not be able to do enough work as we cross in on 30 seconds here. That's absolutely disastrous.
That's Moser winning the Baptiste War on that one. Just throwing up the Ant Matrix just as Susanoo turns the corner. Now there's just 22 seconds, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, this is all to play for here. You're going to have to drop the Deadeye to try and see if you can pull out that sound barrier. Pull out the Blizzard. Try to get something out of it. Great Walls once again.
Deadeye is up. Foreshadow finds Petal. A good start. But Susanoo needs to win 2 fights in a row here. They're not going to have any time to do it. And Blizzard is... what is it? Blizzard? Just a manual freeze on Infected, but the Immortality failed. Kept the main tank player alive, while the rest of the team's able to deal with Moser and Cowman. Now... looks like Matt Merck is in a lot of trouble, and the Reinhardt goes down. 1 of 2 fights won for Susanoo, but they're not out of hot water just yet, Billy.
No, they're not. I mean, they're in overtime now, so I think they'll get a chance to attack with a minute at least if they can get it all the way through. They have to get somebody out there. Tensa has to get out there to touch. Otherwise, we're going to go into extra innings here.
The Obey Alliance was just garnering their forces, and they come out in mass. Cowman gets demeched along the way, but there's the Blizzard. Infected is frozen up. The Deadeye was out, but it didn't find anything. And the Blizzard is just gonna freeze everybody in place. That was too much for Susanoo to handle. And Obey Alliance take their 2nd map in a row, move up to series point with this win on King's Row.
That was a knockdown, drag-out fight, Bull Skunk. I mean, they were throwing haymakers on each other, and Echo has just put up a hell of a performance on this May. I mean, the walls, the blizzards, the icicles to the dome, which I'm now calling brain freezes. I'm going to go ahead and go with that moving forward. But still, it was just positional there. I mean, both teams had fantastic point A and point B pushes. Not a lot of resistance. But once you got into the area where you can have lines of sight, multiple lines of sight, you can throw the May walls up, you can get that immortality barrier out, you can get the amplification matrix out there. That's where both teams struggled. And obviously, you know, Obey Alliance coming out ahead on that. I think that the ult economy right now still in their favor. Overall, in this match, I think that the discipline and the timing that's coming out from Obey Alliance, I think they're showing just that little bit more je ne sais quoi. It's just that little bit of intangibility when they know it's time to press Q. It's time to get aggressive with it, or it's time to drop that sound barrier that we saw Tensa beautifully use 3 times there throughout the defense of point C. I still think that Moser is kind of carrying his team with this Baptiste play and those wonderful ant matrices.
That was a pendulum swing kind of map, no doubt. In the end, it swung in LB Alliance's favor. Susanoo needed to swing back the other direction. They'll have not only map pick, but game type pick. When we return with map 3, we'll find that out on the other side of a short break. Obey Alliance up 2-0 at the half. It is Susanoo's map pick, heading into map number 3. Before we move on, a slight correction. Aiko, I apologize. I've been mispronouncing your name. Totally on me. My fault. I'm so sorry. I want to get it right. That's just a skunk moment there. Face is red. Egg all over it. Spaghetti everywhere. My bad. Moving on. That Obey Alliance have been on top form, and we were talking about this main tank matchup between Matt Merck and Infected. And Matt Merck may be getting in Infected's head a little bit. We're starting to see some mistakes come through. I think it started when they dropped the shield on the Deadeye early on, and that allowed for a free shatter. And it seems more and more mistakes have been popping up throughout the series, and particularly in the end of King's Row.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the mental right now, the import of the moment might be getting into Infected's head. He had a relatively easy game last night, but now you're up against a veteran in Matt Merck, and he is absolutely playing all those wonderful reindeer games that is known as Rhine Mind games, and is just pouring it in on them. So, Infected, I hope that you had a good breather here. Get the mental back, because you were playing and standing up to one of these seasoned veterans quite well. Just a couple of little minor mistakes here, like the unnecessary pins. Don't pin if you're not sure of your end target, because Echo and Petal are looking for you with their heads on a swivel if they can do anything about it. The walls have been really crumbling on top of Infected's poor head. So, Susanoo, that's gonna be it. And we've been butchering that as well. Now that we know how to say Susanoo, right again.
I mean, we're not the only ones who have struggled in the history of this organization.
Yeah,
with
I'm so sorry.
Susan and their squad. But lazy Susan, which the Susan squad, just harping back to some Trid sayings from season 2. Anyway, I digress. Snoo. Heading into map number 3, we are headed to Assault, and Susanoo have chosen Temple of Anubis. I think this is an interesting pick. You're of the 3. I think you're most likely and most capable to run Brawl here. But it still leaves room for Obey Alliance to go back to that Wrecking Ball composition with which Susanoo struggled with so much in downtown Busan.
You have to, if you're a Susanoo right now, this is where you have to start thinking, okay, do I bring out the Sombra in anticipation of the Wrecking Ball coming out? Because once Sai swapped over to that on Busan, there was work getting done, but they were so far behind in ult economy, they were never able to catch it up. So you have to, as being the defenders here, I would be bringing out a Sombra just in case. You can always swap back if you get deleted off the map, but I don't think they're going to do that. And, oh man, this could be a little problematic for them if this is the way that Obey Alliance is going to come out on their offense. But let's take a look at Susanoo. This is the Rhine Diva. This is the May McCree that we've been seeing all along. And Switch is going to have one heck of a performance here on this Baptiste to keep everybody up. Get your sight lines now. Get to the high ground now. Make sure that your positioning is absolutely spot on so that you can accept the aggression that's coming in and really taking it to bear and, just winning the fights out there. The walls have got to be huge. Aiko on the Echo is going to be somebody that I'm looking forward to really get the damage in on top of Susanoo's head.
Yeah, Susanoo are going to have to catch these rotations perfectly, and I'm looking for much smarter positioning from Infected. Don't leave your team high and dry. I know you're going to have to keep your head on a swivel against the incoming double bubble.
Double bubble is actually kind of interesting here, but I like it because what you're looking for out of Aiko is once Matt Merck and Cowman go in, or once Matt Merck goes in, he wastes or he gets rid of his bubble, he accepts the ally bubble, then Aiko can come in and just assassinate and finish up the kills just like a Genji would. He gets in, gets the dash damage, gets the spam in, and just gets out with more on the field, hopefully getting a frag into the boot.
I think it's interesting that Obey are running a Brig and Zen here. His first Shadow leads a nice kill and just leads right into my point that I was just making. Without the Ana, you don't have near as much support for that Winston diving in, and we just saw Matt Merck just get peppered down with 4 Shadow finding the final blow.
Yep, and I think right now, if you're Obey Alliance, you swap now. You don't keep running this Brigitte Zenyatta. I think you bring out the Granny. Either Moser swaps and puts the Tensa onto the Zen, or even running a Lucio with this Brigitte would also be viable. But I mean, Matt Merck not getting enough cleave damage, and now he's in a small room.
Yeah, but that was a very aggressive punish. The duplicate went onto the Lucio once again from Eiko. When you have a Reinhardt on the field, which seems to me to be a much more viable duplicate target, instead, that ultimate finds 0 value. Petal is translocating out of there, but has EMP ready to go. Transcendence out to block the incoming Shatter from the other side, but it can't deny the damage from the Deadeye. Foreshadow continues to wreak havoc on this double bubble squad being shown from Obey Alliance.
Yeah, and the Transcendence got walled off, too. I mean, let's mention Sai with the absolutely massive gigabrained wall to stop the Transcendence of Moser coming in. And, I mean, Foreshadow just dropped the hammer on the Deadeye, and that's the fight win right there. You get the EMP out as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, win conditions are few and far between here. You can hold the sound barrier from Angelic for the Graviton Surge and not be worse for wear.
Obey Alliance might have just gifted this map over because, yeah, with the sound barrier still online, Susanoo should be able to win this next fight. They're going to use the Amp Matrix to clear off center platform, throw a self-destruct in the back, and that's going to find Moser. Rally's still available for Obey Alliance, but they're running out of tools with which to push in. They're going to try to take center platform, but again, there's just not enough healing to keep Matt Merck alive. They get focused down as Foreshadow is really heating up on the McCree.
He absolutely is. I mean, you can, beef yourself up with the rally as much as you want, but you won't be able to move if you drop this blizzard onto Obey Alliance's heads. You've also got another Deadeye to go as well. That may have been the gift right there. That block Transcendence may have won them this first map.
Moving up to the top, continue just to try to cleave and put pressure on center platform. Can't help but feel that Obey Alliance are kind of butting their head up against the wall a little bit. Let's see if they make any adjustments going around. They do force the rotation as Susanoo rotate back to the point. So up to the high ground go Obey Alliance, trying to dislodge and at least force him down. And Eiko does duplicate the Reinhardt this time around, but the Blizzard zoned him out. Cowman gets caught in it and goes down in the process. As the duplicated Reinhardt's coming in, the Doppelganger lays down the hammer, but the wall is up to deny the follow-up, and Matt Merck falls. Transcendence already invested, and they still are losing reinforcements left and right. Obey Alliance are running out of time. They tried to make this double bubble work, and Susanoo shut it down every step of the way.
They absolutely did. That's going to be it, and I mean, 0% whatsoever. And I think that you have to really credit that to the support line. I mean, the support line was absolutely massive there. And Sai, once again, the 10,000 IQ of this Mei player heard the sound animation of the Transcendence go off, blocked up the underside of that bridge there, and completely devalued that fight-winning ultimate. So, Petal, I mean, we saw one EMP. Only one, and it didn't get any value once again because of that massive Mei wall that came out. So, Foreshadow looks warm. I think his pitching arm is good to go here. Gummy really denied a lot of that damage too. I don't think the Petal's focus was good enough onto the supports. We saw like maybe 2 manual hacks onto Angelic, and they still got the sound barrier off in between those 2 manual hacks and really kept the team up through the mid fight. I just think it was some really odd choices there coming from Obey Alliance, and now what we see, they come out onto the defense. I mean, they're running the Winston Ball tank line, so good mobility. Petal will have the hacks coming out again. I think Tensa bringing out the Mercy here, I think that's a great call. You're going to have the res ability because you're only fighting for a tick here.
Yeah, res is key to kind of provide a little bit of a safety net. Susanoo, much better rotations, much better positioning on their defense. That needs to continue as they methodically try to push in, but, well, they don't even make it through the archway to start. The big pile drive in the back, and Foreshadow eats a flurry of sticky bombs.
Yeah, I mean, Sai was getting what they wanted to do onto a wrecking ball there in that position and get him frozen and try and take him out. There he goes down finally.
Yeah, nice ball.
Yep, it was the wall and it was the freeze again. So I mean, now you're +1. That's in an unresable position as well. Look at this positioning from Moser. That's a great line of sight there to just pour in the damage with the orbs.
But advantage Susanoo as they move through Mega Room and are now going to try to move up and claim center platform. This is what I was talking about. You just need to slowly, methodically move in and claim the space you need to allow for Shadow to work. But they lose the back line. Matt Mark is able to dive onto Switch and Cowman onto Force Shadow. And Obey Alliance are, well, they're answering back right now on their defense. Susanoo continuing to press in. But there's a Primal Rage and a Duplicate invested in. So their aggression is rewarded in that they got ults out of the defending Obey Alliance.
Absolutely, but I mean, EMP is going to be the one to look for in the next fight. And there's a pause coming up on our screen. So we will see the conclusion of this map here at Temple of Anubis. But Obey Alliance are looking like they're on their back foot a little bit here.
Maybe.
Maybe.
They've got EMP. They've got the Wrecking Ball Mines and a Transcendence coming online. I mean, that's still like 3 high impact ults when you're defending. I mean, I think Mines are that high impact, but the way they've been used so far have been excellent. Cowman has done a good job, and when you're defending, you can just deny that pressure space Susanoo wants to take as they try to push in, but there it is. 2 quick kills. Cowman's Mines do come out, but it has to sacrifice his life for it. EMP over the top. It's going to find 5. And Angelic had already used a sound barrier, so Switch can't go down, can't get the Immortality Field up, and there's nothing to defend against Sai's incoming Blizzard. And that's going to be enough to buy the space Susanoo needed to get that goose egg off the board. They're going to take Temple of Anubis and put the decision onto Obey Alliance to determine map 4.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great clapback. Their defensive capabilities there on Temple of Anubis showing strong. Susanoo absolutely owning TOA, and Obey Alliance maybe a little bit stubborn in their attack phase, Bullskunk. They didn't want to seem to get off of it, and they paid for it in the end. So, I mean, back to the drawing board. They now get to pick the map that we're going to, and this could be interesting. Do you go for a Wrecking Ball map to let Matt Merck bring the ball out again? Or do you go to a Brawl map? I mean, we could see another control here as well. Yes?
Yeah, I mean, we could still see control. We could also see an escort map. So those are pretty much their 2 options in the way this new format works. You can't repeat any of the previous game types during the maps 2 to 5. So, I mean, control might be the way to go. Obey Alliance took control very convincingly, but no, it looks like they're taking us to Route 66. They're going to keep it into a more traditional format. And, well, we're headed to the deserts of the United States for map number 4. The pendulum swing we were talking about needed to go in Susanoo's favor, and it thoroughly has. It was kind of on a knife's edge on King's Row, and it looks like they really gained some momentum in that last map.
Yeah, they absolutely did. And, I mean, trying to run the double bubble, I mean, it could have worked, honestly. I mean, they just didn't have the same luck. Part of that is luck. Part of that is, great counterplay from the defending side that we saw Susanoo do.
I mean, part of that was just the brig. Like, that's the point of the brig in that composition is to protect your Zenyatta. There was nothing on Susanoo's roster or in their composition that was going to go pressure the backline on the Zenyatta. That's not what the Brawl wants to do. You needed that Ana in there to keep Matt Merck alive and have those nano boosts to initiate those big engagements. And just without that, Matt Merck couldn't stick around in the fight long enough to build up primals fast enough to do enough damage. I mean, they really kind of handed that over, and they kind of wasted an EMP about halfway through that, and it allowed Angelic to hold on to that sound barrier and just bring that fight back. So, uncharacteristic mistakes from Obey Alliance on map 3, at least from what we've seen through today's series. So, I mean, they're going to need to tighten that up. I mean, and Infected and company looked a lot better. Infected's positioning was a lot better. The rotations were perfect. I mean, falling back just when they needed to, retaking that center platform just when they needed to. I'm expecting that to continue because you just gave this young main tank player a lot more confidence.
Yeah, that's got to bolster the mental right there. That's got to bolster the confidence that was just pouring out of him in that interview last night. So we shall see what we shall see. I think that, the Wrecking Ball could come into play again here. I think that Route 66 does offer quite a bit of areas for the little Wrecking Ball to get a lot of value, lots of pile drivers that could come in, and we saw it. When Matt Merck did land that, we did see Echo on the Echo land those sticky bombs directly result of that pile driver that Matt Merck initiated with. So, more of the same. I would love to see that, because loving to see the coordination of the pile drive and then the follow up behind it is one of the most beautiful things I see in Overwatch right now. Also just the tech that you can see out of the ball you can get that pile drive, you can get the grapple and get the heck out of dodge. Always fun to watch. Always fun to watch. I enjoy it too. I thought he was a little demon when he first came onto the scene, but I think with the changes and the adjustments to his kit, really puts him in a more fair spot now. The 25% knockback reduction was huge. I thought that brought him a lot more in line with what we wanted to see. So as we head to sunny Utah, we found out that this is Utah, not Arizona, as we thought earlier. Yeah, I mean, we've got Obey.
I didn't know either way, frankly. It looks like Utah.
I said it on the stream once, and somebody pointed out that it's actually in Utah. So beautiful map here. I mean, do you hold on top of Big Earls if you're Obey Alliance? Do you hold up closer and really put the pressure down onto Infected and company? Because Infected might be flashing us the ball here. I have not seen him play the ball. So does he have this in his wheelhouse? If he does, that's going to absolutely become a surprise to Obey Alliance.
Yeah, let's see. We're getting a little bit of a swap of identity from what they're showing us so far, but most importantly, Obey Alliance coming out with the May McCree Brawl here. I anticipate they may change that up on their attack, but for now, we're going to get the mirror matchup once again and the up-close hold from Obey.
Yeah, I love this too. I mean, what you're looking for right now is, can Sai get a good enough wall to cordon off members and let the members of his team really separate and dissect?
Ooh, Tensa just narrowly able to avoid that with some swift moves, and Petal is going to take down Infected, punish that aggression, but Mark falls as well. Defense missing now their May and their main tank. As Petal tries to strike back, tries to stem the bleeding, but I'm afraid Obey Alliance might have done too much damage already.
They may have, and I mean, look at this tracking from Petal right now, just absolutely decimating Switch, and Tensa with the follow-up onto the flashbang. Beautiful work from the members of Obey Alliance here. You still have to worry about getting Matt Merck into the fight, but gosh, Petal's just putting his team on his back right now.
Petal just went to go 1v6 that play. That was a little bit of an it there, Petal. I'm not going to lie.
Leg Day would be proud. With the fan, the hammers, and the inting there, Leg Day would be very proud of you in that moment. But now they have control of high ground a little bit. You've got Foreshadow up there. You had Switch up there with you. Amp Matrix could come to bear right here.
The Deadeye coming out from Foreshadow, picking up first blood as Tensa is caught out from that one. No combo needed for Foreshadow to find value. It's going to be the self-destruct, devaluing the Amp Matrix in the back entirely as Susanoo loop through Big Earls. They're going to emerge with an Amp Matrix of their own, but they get shattered. They get shattered hard. That's 4 members of the attacking Susanoo on their back. Blizzard coming out from side to try to counterpunch back. The Immortality keeping Obey Alliance in the fight, or at least dead momentarily, as they throw their own self-destruct into the field. Infected is going to lay down the shadow, but that is responded to with the sound barrier. And after the ult trade back and forth, finally Obey Alliance start to draw some blood.
And Echo's Blizzard was way more impactful there, and I got a lot more value out of it. And I mean, they really were, I mean, it was expensive for Susanoo. That was just Deadeye. It was the Shatter and the sound barrier all invested in that fight, and they gotten really nothing out of it. What a wonderful use of the Blizzard from Echo and the sound barrier out of Tensa.
Okay. I think that was all 6 ults from Susanoo.
I think
over the course of that fight. And now they're just staring down the Matrix from the other side, and Moser has been Johnny on the spot with the timing and placement of these. As Susanoo try to emerge from that second level cave, Tensa moving in to try to boot him out from around the corner and put him into a vulnerable spot. And Moser still just holding on, just waiting for the perfect time, waiting for Susanoo to come into the trap, and there it is. And Matrix out, but Matt Mark throws down this, just gets pummeled in the back. That was a Deadeye. I saw all the studs light up. I was like, wait a minute, are you kidding? The Deadeye coming through for Shadow, through an Matrix of their own, is able to flip this fight on its head, coming in from a deficit and looking like they're in a vulnerable position. Susanoo win the fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great turnaround, great positioning, and great use of the Maywall once again from Psy. And Foreshadow basically using that Deadeye just to get a quick reload. He thought he was going to be able to catch the baby Diva out, but already got him taken down. So now we have the flip. Now we have the ultimates coming back into more of an equality line between the two. I mean, both self-destructs are ready. The Blizzards, that's your initiator here. I think that Echo should wait for the Deadeye to come up before they end up dropping this on them.
Crazy aggressive rotation, but the wall is there. Side throws out the Blizzard, and Petal goes down. Matt Merck is frozen stiff and gets shattered by Infected. Susanoo do a great job of punishing that very bold move from Obey.
Yeah, and Infected invested a shatter into that and got maximum value from it once again. And it's all set up by a Psy Blizzard. So, I mean, right now, your win condition is set. You just got to get the better of the Blizzards. And if you can cordon people off with that wall, even better. I think that, Petal. Catching Angelic out.
That's huge pick because they were 97% towards that sound barrier. And despite going down while trying to throw the Deadeye, it's still a big advantage for Obey on this defense as the Blizzard comes through from Echo, but it gets gobbled up. Gummy eating their second one of the day and might have just swung it back. Matt Merck tries to throw down the shatter, but can't. Gets frozen out of it. Tenza returns, throws in the sound barrier, and it's still not enough to keep Obey Alliance in this fight. They threw everything in the kitchen sink at that, and I don't even think they got a kill after that opening pick.
They absolutely did not, and Switch had actually thrown a beautiful immortality barrier at the beginning of the fight that kept up Psy and Foreshadow through the mid-fight. Oh my word, that was beautiful. And now Ultimate Economy completely swung into Susanoo's favor here. This is where they can be cagey. This is where they can be more crafty, but they got to watch for the backside rotation coming from Obey Alliance.
Obey has gotten punished for this once already on this defense. And they're running into a bevy of ultimates. Self-destruct start things off, but Tenza gets caught out. Infected is going to get aggressive, charge into Matt Merck, and they get taken down with a little help from Switch. And the attacking Susanoo are really fighting their stride. Gummy coming up with a pair of kills to help close out this fight. Make that 3.
Yep, and I mean, now they've got the bait trapped out here. That's just done and dusted, and Foreshadow got to hold on to said Deadeye. So now, I mean, 4 going into this next fight. Cowman closest to an ultimate here for Obey Alliance. This is going to be able to go on tempo. Angelic, I mean, you hold the sound barrier for the Echo sound or Blizzard. This is where this is going to get very interesting. How can they swing it back into their favor?
Matrix Deadeye combo coming out, and Cowman already out of play. Trying to loop through high ground. Matt Mark is going to charge onto the point, but is just surrounded in so much trouble. Moser doesn't fare any better. And Susanoo being very disciplined, using 1-2 ults at a time, are winning these fights back to back. They have got a lot of momentum, Billy.
Yep, Cowman will be able to stall this out and really force some cooldowns, maybe a wall out of Susanoo here with the self-destruct Echo. Very close to their own Blizzard. That's going to be their stall tactic here as we close in on 1 minute left in the round.
Oh, but Psy goes down holding their own. Infected Shatter gets blocked. Foreshadow does find the kill on a Petal, but the self-destruct coming in from the defense will take out Switch, and Obey Alliance hold on with 50 seconds left.
Yeah, and they're holding on by the skin of their teeth right now. Psy still does have that Blizzard into their next fight, but Echo has one to echo theirs. And Moser, here we go again. We have the Ant Matrix ready to go. Will he be able to place it and stop the aggression coming in from Susanoo?
Pushing in from the front. Ant Matrix out from the top. Susanoo able to LOS that, and they're going to continue rotating towards Mega? Question mark. I'm not sure they've made a decision on which direction they want to go just yet. They're going to wait for that Amatrix to go down. They are going to push it up towards Mega, but the Shatter comes through. Matt Merck picks up a pair, and Psy gets their Blizzard eaten. This has swung completely back the under direction as the pendulum continues to go back and forth in our match, and Obey Alliance look like they have it in their favor right now. 8 seconds on the clock. Kill lighten up green, and Obey Alliance will not allow any more progress. The wall will deny the touch, and 71.29 meters is all Susanoo are going to find.
Boy, and Susanoo had the ultimate economy in their favor, I mean, massively. And just the kitebacks that we saw from Obey Alliance show there. The walls that came up from Echo there to deny the damage coming in. Those were some veteran moves that you expect from veterans of the contender scene, and they showed up in spades there. So they have an absolute win condition to take the series win here, 3-1, but not before Susanoo has the chance to hold them up and take us to a map 5. So I'm desperate to see what Susanoo is going to bring out here on their defense, and it looks like more of the same switch. You're going to have one heck of a defense here with that Baptiste that we showed so well there. The Amp Matrixes, not the same level that we saw from Moser, I have to say. More value was gained and garnered by Moser's Amp Matrixes, but they might be showing us a little bit different of a look here. And I mean, we've seen them run this out before. They got some pretty good value out of it. I just think that, you know, the healing is going to be what I'm really focusing in on, because you've got the burst healing of Switch on this Baptiste. I don't know if it's going to hold up to a Orb of Harmony coming out from Moser.
Well, as we do get the ball diva as anticipated from Obey. Echo going back to the Echo with that Mercy Pocket courtesy of Tenza. They're going to look to surround and try to isolate targets, coordinate their attack. You can see Matt Merck all the way in the back with Petal on the Sombra, trying to find an opening pick onto the back line. Gummy is down, but not out just yet. Psy will be the first to fall for the defense, as Susanoo are just looking like they're kind of struggling. They look like they're kind of looking in all directions, trying to find where the aggression is coming from. And Obey Alliance aren't sitting in one place too long. They're bouncing around, they're finding the picks, and they're pulling Susanoo apart at the seams.
Yep, and speed kills and mobility
Foreshadow.
kills. Foreshadow's not done yet. He's
Foreshadow bringing it back.
Yes, and I mean, there it is, Gummy taking down the neck and the collateral damage after that. So that's a reset coming out of Obey Alliance, and you've got the Deadeye to stop the aggression coming in from Obey Alliance again. So this could go back and forth.
Yeah, Obey Alliance just kind of look like they stopped pursuing the kills there. Tenza just gets punished hard. Susanoo once again goes down early in the fight, but they're able to clap back and a lot quicker this time. Gummy does fall while out of mech. And Infected's going to get booped off the side, falls to the self-destruct, was hacked, wasn't getting back on dry land anyway. And this time, Obey Alliance will not be denied.
They won't. And we see Infected now swapping to the Reinhardt again. You've got Sound Barrier going into this next fight. However, Obey Alliance have everything on their platter to really get around Big Earls here and take this first point. We'll see how they rotate their ultimates here. Echo, this has got to be a really smart usage of the duplicate here.
Angelic gets the EMP, the sound barrier out to block the EMP from the other side, and it's Cowman who falls. So it's 2 ultimates, 3-4 ultimates invested from Obey Alliance, and so far they have yet to find a kill. In fact, Petal falls. The duplicated self-destruct in the back, but, well, okay, Psy was inside of that, and not quite sure what happened there, and in fact, it's going to fall to some shots from Moser. If anybody you expect to die to a Diva Bomb, it's not your Tracer. That's a disastrous turn. That's so much of your damage gone. It was looking so good, Susanoo, and you give it up in the last second.
That's a heartbreaker. There's still the contest coming through, but they're not allowing the members of Susanoo to get in there. And here is another pause. It looks like there might be a technical issue in the lobby, but man, they had the makings of it there. I still think that the ultimate economy that that Obey Alliance was bringing into that fight, I think they still would have won the fight handily. But boy, I mean, the clapback that came out of that, the soundberry out of Angelic was absolutely mwah, chef's kiss from me, keeping the team up, allowing them to stay in the fight. But, I mean, Matt Merck right now on this Wrecking Ball is absolutely creating havoc with the entirety of Susanoo, and they are just not able to coalesce together as a group and get together for long enough for a fight to get any really value out of what they're trying to do. The disruption being shown by Matt Merck right now is absolutely insane.
If you're Susanoo, you're happy you got as many ults out as you did. Obey Alliance had to invest heavily to pick up point A. And now we're back on a level playing field.
I mean, looking at right now, Echo seems to be looking for Angelic at all times, and may end up getting him out here.
Ooh, can't quite burn him down with the focusing beam. Oh, there's an opportunity miss, and Gummy with a beautiful peel follows it up with the kill there, and Size Pulse Bomb lands. Susanoo halting the cart.
And we've gone back to this Brigitte and Zenyatta support line. The raw output healing coming from Susanoo right now is going to be absolutely in their favor. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out why we've done this switch here, but you do have the Transcendence online, so we'll see what you can get out of this once it's necessary.
Size going off the Tracer onto a Torbjorn as well. To try to help deal with Petal, but it was just a big old target for Moser to pop out of the back line immediately. Obey Alliance looking to come through and claim the high ground. They're going to go and throw down the Transcendence just to help defend against the Amp Matrix coming through from Susanoo. And they do so successfully. So far, no casualties resulting thereof. And Infected's got to be careful. Got themselves in a good position. The duplicated Shatter is nice and fat. Laying down the team. And the bomb finds 3 from Cowman.
Yep, that is absolutely devastating to the defense of Susanoo right now. And they got ultimate value out of it. That's exactly what they needed to see. And they didn't even have to invest the EMP into this fight. So EMP mines ready to go from Obey Alliance as we see them now swap to echo the support line of Susanoo. And this is going to be where the rubber meets the road.
Mine's forced to try to punish this aggression coming through, but it's a +1 to Susanoo on the defense right now. Self-destruct out from Gummy is blocked by the Immortality Field, but Foreshadow still manages to find a pair of kills, and Susanoo's aggressive attack pays off for them.
Yeah, I mean, 245 in the time bank to get it to that 71.3 meters to take this series good and for all. But they do have some ultimates online ready to stop the aggression coming in. Infected drops the Shatter, gets nobody.
Obey Alliance are making wholesale swaps, going to the brawl for this inner portion. It's still not helping them out too far, though. Switch has a nice Immortality Field in the back, and it's thwarted this attack from Obey with just over 2 minutes on the clock.
Indeed, Foreshadow with the Deadeye into this next fight is going to be able to stop the aggression coming in from Obey as well. That wholesale swap has absolutely thrown the ultimate rotation into Susanoo's favor, and now they have to worry about the rotation coming in from the Obey Alliance on the backside.
Charge in, and the counter charge is there, but the Immortality Fields, well, now they're both gone. With that taken care of, the Rhines are going hammer to hammer up front, and an Infected falls. Foreshadow once again trying to bring it back alongside Switch. They're putting in a lot of hurt. They're not going down without a fight. The nice flash fan is going to take Petal out of the fight. Falls over a beautiful shot on the tins of Foreshadow. Take a bow, my friend. Beautiful showing.
He's a bot. He's an absolute bot. Come on. Nobody's that good. Really, they are good. And he's just really doing everything he can to stop the aggression coming in from Obey Alliance. We're down to 1 minute 20 seconds here. Ultimate still in their line. The sound barrier out from Angelic. Going to keep you up.
Yep, both Shatters used, both Sound Barriers used, both Amp Matrix on the field. And so far, nobody's going down. This is a tightly contested fight, but Foreshadow is just flashing that fan and hammer right into Gummy or into Cowman, and will eventually go down, but they've lost Gummy and they've lost Angelic. Switch coming up with a pair, but Foreshadow falls, so Obey Alliance have found some room to work.
He didn't drop the Deadeye. So, I mean, you got the self-destruct to stop the aggression coming in. Oh man, this Deadeye Blizzard combo could be absolutely lethal. It could end the series right here for Susanoo. Obey Alliance, do you have it in your banks to get up and stay in this series?
30 seconds, last fight territory. Deadeye out from Petal, trying to force him back. This could leave Susanoo in a vulnerable position for the Blizzard. Moving in, it's gonna be the self-destruct that finds two! As the counter is there, Gummy protecting the team from the incoming Blizzard. Obey Alliance was trying to punish, and they found themselves in the unsuspecting LOS of that big bomb.
Oh my goodness, and 5 seconds left. Angelic taking down Calman in the Baby Diva form, and that's going to do it. That's going to close up this fight. Any kind of aggression trying to come in here will be thwarted by that Blizzard. Oh, there's a little bit of a recontest here for Matt Merck, and we see Petal come out on the Tracer.
Yeah, Echo on the Reaper, but they're fighting such an uphill battle. Shatter doesn't quite land on anything as Echo's able to fade back, and Obey Alliance desperately trying to close out this fight here, but Foreshadow has double damage, has a Deadeye with which he gets a kill, picks up a 3K in that fight, and Susanoo will not budge. They're sending us to map 5, Billy. We're all tied up.
We are all tied up indeed, and I mean, just the wholesale swaps that we saw, I think may have actually been a detriment to what Obey Alliance was trying to do there. They threw themselves so far behind in the ult economy. I still think it was a hero bomb coming out of Gummy there, though. That was absolutely massive and just really solidified their hold there on point 3 Bull Skunk. It was back and forth. It's giving us exactly what we expected out of this newly formed rivalry match between these players, and we're getting all the value and all of our money's worth here.
I mean, it was on a knife edge. The timing on the swap wasn't bad. Susanoo had just pressed in with that flank attack through the top tunnel, used a bunch of ultimates. So it wasn't bad, and we saw in the fight after, you know, they were just going back and forth in those ults. It was some hero step-up plays with... I mean, Gummy was able to land the big bomb. Foreshadow found some pop-off moments throughout Point C. I mean, hats off to them. It was just that little edge, that individual performance, most notably from the Korean McCree. Oh, we're going to map 5 for the 3rd time today, Billy. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's Obey Alliance's pick as we head to Control. Susanoo went down 0-2 at the start of this series, and then Temple of Anubis. Obey Alliance tried to run double bubble and just got halted. Big old wall in their face with a giant sword on it, and they haven't looked the same since. Susanoo just feeling themselves again. Any doubt we saw in Infected's head and the team's head through the first two maps has been erased, as now they're looking to complete their reverse sweep. Obey have chosen Lijiang Tower through the battlefield for map 5.
You are the wind beneath my wings. That could be going on there. Maybe the Bette Midler song. Did you ever know that you're my hero? That's what Gummy was there on that last map. Not only the eat of a blizzard, but also the hero bomb that really solidified the defense for Susanoo. Man, that was impressive. And it was all on the knife's edge. We've been on a knife's edge all night. Let's be honest with each other, chat. We are in a back and forth, just absolute banger of a match, and it's exactly what we want. It's exactly what we want to see. We want to see these teams fighting tooth and nail to get themselves one of those 4 coveted contender spots. And this is how you do it. This is how you prove yourself moving up into that next upper echelon of Overwatch here in Tier 2. And man, we're being treated to just some beautiful play and counterplay. The chess moves that we're seeing coming out from both sides. Oh man, I could not ask for anything more. This is why I say support Tier 2. This is why this is important. This is our path to pro. And man, we are seeing some stars be realized today.
And we're seeing our third map 5 of the day, as a matter of fact. It is not going to surprise me if we see both of these teams in that top 4. There's only 6 teams in trials this season, as opposed to the 12 that we saw in 2020. Top 4 moving on. But I think this is the birth of a rivalry right here. We talked about it coming into this match, and I think this just further solidifies. These teams are going to be looking out for each other, not only here in map 5, but as the season goes on and as 2020 evolves. We're going to start off on Control Center. We're looking at a little bit of the old fastball out of Susanoo. No changes there. Obey Alliance, though, looking to show us something a little different.
Yeah, I mean, this is the map to do it on, too. I mean, getting not only the Symmetra to get you there fast, and then using the speed boost of Tensa to get you there faster, but ramping up the microwave beam of a Symmetra, and also there's just the pure spam damage coming out of Echo on this Junkrat. This could be something for Susanoo to really be looking for.
Yeah, the Junkrat can be very punishing on this map. This is kind of the Control Center meta, the kind of the micro meta we saw for a while, but it's been a hot meta, particularly with the double shield. But Obey Alliance are going to get entrenched into White Room and just start throwing down massive amounts of spam damage. It's going to be tough for Shadow to find an opening, but Obey Alliance are going to get aggressive. They're going to abandon their post, and they're going to get punished for it. Cowman goes down on the Reinhardt, leaving things open as Infected goes down and tries to batter Petal. They find Moser instead, and Obey Alliance find themselves on the back foot. Susanoo get first control.
They do, and Petal was just absolutely trying to burn down Infected shield and actually got it to crack, and that's why you saw Gummy go out of the mech, because they just didn't have that damage protection coming in. Gummy take themselves off the map to get the remech, and now there is the Moser special. The Amp Matrix coming out trying to pour damage on top of Susanoo.
But they're sent from the other side, and a shatter for Infected, picking up 2. Cowman able to survive through it as the pin whiffs. It's a swing and a miss for Infected, but they're continuing to put the aggression down. Sai's going to throw out the Blizzard to try to work through Obey after their sound barrier fades, and they're finally going to punish Cowman with that. And now Obey Alliance, they're trying to just stay afloat behind center pillar, but there's walls blocking them off, blocking off the LOS from that immortality field, and Petal goes down, self-destructing into the back versus Matt Merck into a dangerous spot. Susanoo take full advantage.
Oh man, what a beautiful play there. Oh my god, Foreshadow once again anticipating the rotation, getting to where he could be to take down the main source of healing for Obey Alliance. And now coming into this next fight, as we cross 60%, you're gonna have both take ultimates ready to go. Supercharger, still a very impactful ultimate here. Let's see how they defend against it. Angelic does have sound barrier to protect against it.
Supercharger very impactful indeed. Will allow these DPS to get back to those important ults, but not if Matt Merck goes down before they can place the drums of damage. Cowman falls immediately as Foreshadow and Switch take turns, lighting up the feed. Foreshadow finds 3 in this fight and continues to impress me with those McCree skills.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot. I mean, that was almost Evil Toaster-esque with the shield against the wall, just kind of, I don't see you. If you don't see me, I don't see you.
I like the Ice Climber boots to go right over it. Last chance for Obey Alliance to make something happen here. Immortality Field, or excuse me, Matrix out, but Cowman just goes down. They can't take advantage of the double damage. And Susanoo have just swept through Control Center, planted their flag, and claimed it for their own. They even eat a Blizzard for dessert. Obey Alliance fall 0 to 100 in our opening map of map 5.
You know, Gummy came into their own on Route 66 and really stood up and says, I am a person too. I am a player here as well. Gummy started off Control Center with a 3-piece and just played their booties off the entirety of that map, eating the Blizzard that could have really swung that fight around into Obey Alliance's favor there. My goodness. Great play for them. But now, here we are, Night Market. Definitely want to see the Symmetras. I want to see them brawl on point. I want to see them just throwing haymakers. Sai could be the X factor here, bringing out the Doomfist.
Yeah, I think the Doomfist might help them win this first fight, but if Obey Alliance does manage to pull it out, they're going to be very hard to dislodge. Susanoo lands onto the point first, and you see Saya going into the back, looking for something, but just can't find anything. The goal was there. Fortify keeping Cowman on the ground, and Saya goes back to spawn. Now you've got Petal with this level 3 beam, just trying to microwave down the opposition, but Infected comes through with a wicked fast shatter. 30 seconds in, and Infected's laying them flat.
Hello, Infected. How are you doing, my friend? That was just absolutely catastrophic to Obey Alliance right there. He saw it, he felt it, he let loose with it, and got all the value of it, and now coming into this next fight, I'm looking for this Ant Matrix to come out from both sides and really just pour the damage in.
But there's Defense Matrix for Susanoo. They can kind of peek out, utilize the DM, and put some more damage now. Now they've got a 5,000 hit point Photon Barrier up in the way, blocking all of the damage coming in from Obey, but somehow Sai still gets aggressive and gets punished. Slight edge for Obey Alliance as they try to push in. The bongos are devalued immediately. The shatter is huge. The lanterns are shaking from the massive hammer that just got laid down from Matt Merck. The sound barrier invested as well as Obey Alliance will flip this point.
Yep, and Petal absolutely putting on a performance there on the side. They're going to get to about 50%, and that's about it. So, I mean, now, you know, if you're Sai, do you continue to run the Doomfist or do you swap? There we go. Swap coming through. We're going to bring out the Ice Demon herself once again, and we'll see what kind of walling they can get off here. But it's going to be such a hard time for them to get back up to this point because of the entrenchment. You've got the Fortify of the Orisa. You've got the Static Shield there as well. This is going to have to be a well-pathed fight here.
Cowman gets caught up with that. The Immortality Field is there. Deadeye coming out of the back. Doesn't really find much. Infected getting in a little deep, and the sound barrier comes up to keep them alive, and the Matrix is there. Foreshadow pushes through and finds 2, and Susanoo flipped this point right back over.
Yeah, I mean, only 30% gave it up there as well. You're going to have the... you're going to have Blizzard coming in for Obey. So I think that's your initiator. Photon Barrier will be able to stop the damage after that, but I mean, if they get past it, it's all as she wrote.
Photon Barrier is up. Eiko can now place the Blizzard where they like. There's really nothing to fit against it unless you're Gummy and you gobble it up for the time today. Gummy is feasting on Blizzards throughout this entire series, and that was a massive eat right there. They had no sound barrier. Gummy was the only hope, and he stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, once again. And now self-destruct to stop the aggression coming in. Eiko is having to swap over to the Doomfist just to be able to get last-second touches. Gummy, I mean, this has been a standout performance, a welcome to the stage performance from this player, and now they have the initiator to stop the fight coming in.
Supercharger out for roll, but Gummy does it again! Gummy throws the bomb in, takes down 2, and Susanoo complete the reverse sweep. They were down 0-2, and then it was all in their favor. They're going to continue through Trials Week undefeated as they absolutely smash Obey Alliance on Lijiang Tower.
You want to talk about the smash? It was the shatter from Infected that set it all up. I mean, the wall, though, that prevented Matt Merck from getting, or Cowman getting onto the point with the Orisa. Dunsky after that. That was absolutely it. They set that last fight up absolutely perfectly, and they got their dessert. And boy, that was just everything. That was everything, Bullskunk. Holy crap.
Oh, beautiful showing. I mean, they got the momentum. They got their confidence back. That was incredible. I mean, Infected was looking a little weak early on, but man, you get by with a little help from your friends, and for Shadow and Gummy are some good friends to have.
Yeah, and it looks like we have an interview coming up, and it's going to be Angelic. It's going to be the Lucio player that had those massive sound barriers on today, Bullskunk, and I mean, woo! My stomach. Now we're nice and relaxed. Now we can get down. I'm going to bring us down here nice and slow. As we do have Angelic joining us here in the broadcast booth.
Thank you so much for joining us, Angelic. Congratulations on completing the reverse sweep.
Thanks.
So coming in, what was the difference maker? I mean, you're down 0-2 after King's Row. It was tightly contested, but at last you fall after 2. But then it seemed like a switch just flipped. What happened? What was in that halftime speech that really kept your confidence alive?
I think we were just saying to just keep the energy up and to keep saying that it's winnable, because yeah, I mean, we knew that we were better than them, and then I think it really helped that on Anubis they started playing some really trash comps, so it was like pretty easy. So that helped a lot to swing momentum back in our favor.
I gotta ask you, Angelic. Infected looked a little bit out of his league after map 1. I think that he got punched in the mouth. I think he got a little bit overzealous with some of his abilities. Did you guys have to calm him down, or I mean, what did you guys say to him? Because once Temple of Anubis hit, it was the same Infected that we saw last night. Holy cow, did he turn it around?
Yeah, I think he was probably just like a little bit nervous, but we also just kept saying that we just need to play together and just listen, and normally it's either like me or Sai calling tempo, so he just has to listen to us, and then he did, so it worked really well.
Well, speaking of playing together, you were on square one for quite some time. I mean, about 2 years from what I saw. What has it been like coming into Susanoo, and how have you built that synergy with this team? The teamwork looked fantastic today. Did you do anything special to help kind of grow in such a quick time?
Not really. It feels really similar to playing on square one, honestly. It's yeah, not that much of a difference. I think our comms work really well together, just naturally. So there's a lot of just like natural cohesion.
Are you one of those like shot callers?
Sorry, what was that?
Are you one of the shot callers? Like, are you one of the vocal ones in those comms, or do you tend to just kind of sit back and go with the flow as far as comms are concerned?
Yeah, I do a lot of the communication, like with in terms of shot calling, and also just like mid fights, stuff like that.
Awesome. Billy, another question?
Yeah, last fight. The shatter, let's see, the wall into the shatter into the bomb. Take us through that last one as far as comms wise, because it just looked like the most wonderfully orchestrated symphony I've ever seen. It was perfect. It was delicious. It was everything that I was asking for in this entire series.
It's honestly, for me, it was kind of a blur. I didn't really know what was happening. Like they just like TP'd in the window or whatever. I think I was behind the Mei wall or or no, they didn't even have a Mei at that point, but I don't really remember. I just kind of like tried to go for a boop, and then I look in the kill feed and they're all dead, so it just worked.
Beautiful.
You gotta love it. You take those.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to my teammates, especially for just keeping their composure and just never giving up, always fighting. And shout out to Coach Firewolf for just being a cool guy.
I love it. I love it. Got to give love to the coaches. Got to give love to the coaches. Well, thanks again. Congratulations on the win, and good luck for the rest of the week.
Thank you.
Well, that is going to do it for our first series of the day, but we've got another one coming at you. We're going to take a short break. We're going to get our team set up. When we return, Revival is taking on Ardour. Let's see if Revival can keep up their hot streak, move to 2-0, or if Ardour can turn it around and bounce back after their 0-3 loss yesterday. Y'all stick around, and we're going to have more Contenders trials coming at you in just a moment. time for our second series of the day in Contenders Trial in a Day 2. My name's Bullskunk alongside Chef Billy, and man, we've had 3 map 5s so far in Day 2 across EU and NA. This match between Revival and Ardour could potentially make it another one.
Yeah, I mean, this could be. Ardour kind of took it on the chin last night via the team that we just saw win our last series 3-2. Infected had their way with Ardour last night in an 0-3 loss. But I think, coming into this map now, Revival, they have another strong Reinhardt player too. You may recognize who that is. It's LH Cloudy.
Yeah, this Revival roster, a brand new roster, looking to bring back Revival to the glory days. They kind of struggled in 2020. Season 1 didn't make playoffs at all. In Season 2, they failed to make contenders for the first couple months, and they started to bring it around back towards the end of 2020. Ended up 7th, 8th at Gauntlet, and are coming into 2021 with this brand new, just powerhouse roster to try to make a big impact to start off this season. You've got LH Cloudy and Icy leading the charge in the main tank role. You're going to have Seeker and Nas putting the hurt down. And you've got Pascal and sub-playing today in Winval.
Yeah, Winval used to be known by another name, but they've asked that we not put that out there, so we'll go ahead and respect that. But not seeing Lep in the lineup tonight for whatever reason it is. We'll see what Winval brings to this team. But Ardour, bringing out some recognizable names as well. Vita, one of the better main tanks in the North American region. We'll see if he can stand up against LH Cloudy, because kind of got a little bit stomped last night. The Ryan battles last night were absolutely giga level of aggressive, and really Infected took it to Vita last night. So let's see if Vita can clap back and can kind of come back into their own, because we know this player will just turn a match on its head given the right opportunity.
As we just saw, we're going to start off on Busan. That's our set map for Day 2 across the board. But it's going to be loser pick from there, and it's not just loser picks map, but loser picks the game type as well. So for maps 2 through 5, they could go in any order, but you can only play each type once. So we could potentially see two control maps in a row, but then we're guaranteed not to see the control from map 5. So a little bit different system, but it provides this nice bit of strategy from the teams. If you're really good at control, maybe you go right back there and try to equalize. But it's set for Busan here to start off this first of 3 series. We're headed to downtown to open things up.
And I think that we're really going to be looking at the main McCree all day long once again. We saw a healthy diet of it throughout our previous series. We saw it across the pond as well. No reason for it not to be going on here as well. What I'm looking for right now, I'm looking for Lord Grim and Off and Off to really set the tone here, because going up against LH Cloudy, we know the caliber of this Reinhardt, and Icy has just a ton of experience as well. Pascal was a massive light for Revival in their last match in taking the 1-0 win, or the 3-0 win yesterday. So lots of work here cut out for that player. Let's see how they address this.
Well, the Maywalls are out early, and LH Cloudy, that signature aggression to move it in, buying a lot of space for Seeker to come in and find a pair of kills right out of the gate. As Revival struck hard, strike fast, and pick up point. Just very first thing. First control.
Yeah, look at LH Cloudy's ult charge right now. 73% out of the first fight. So if you're not willing to take the aggression that comes in from him, you're going to get sent back to spawn in a hurry. As a matter of fact, just looking at all the ultimates right now, Revival clearly ahead right now. Massive value being gained just staying behind the shield of LH Cloudy and just putting the damage in.
Ardour looping around through theater, just gonna drop all the way out the back side. Ant Matrix out from Ardour as they try to push in. I think Revival's just gonna kite out of the way of that. They're not gonna bother trying to counter with their own. Nos didn't need. Okay, they do eventually throw this down, and LD throws down the hammer between the two. They're able to net a couple of kills as Seeker takes down HDB in the back. This McCree player is just absolutely on fire. Seeker has been lighting it up for the past 2 days.
Really has, and I mean, you only had to invest the shatter. That's what really engaged the entire fight. Pascal did let loose with their own ant matrix. They really just burst up the healing there, and Nos. We talk about Seeker, but Nos giving people brain freezes with the icicles to the dome. Dueling blizzards is what I'm looking at for this next fight. You do have the sound barrier available for Momentum and Ardour, but boy, the aggression from LH Collider right now, the positioning, they don't even know where he's at. This is crazy.
That was such an important early pick, taking Chopper down. That might have just pushed this into last fight territory with that one icicle. Seeker now dropping the Deadeye from the back. That's going to get blocked by a wall. Shatter comes through from Lord Grimm. Oh, but a beautiful defensive wall from Nos keeps them alive, and Seeker's able to keep Riser at bay. Excuse me. A second M-Matrix out from HTP, and Pascal's going to respond in kind, but Revival already had the player advantage, and they're further increasing that lead as Nos is just trying to chase down momentum.
I mean, right now, this is everything that they're asking for. The self-destruct coming out to get the remake. I mean, that is at 100-0. He dropped the shield just to get blown up by it. Cloudy.
He went to celebrate, he went through with the celebratory shatter. I mean, it put a giggle on my face. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's okay because I was laughing too. Going into Sanctuary though, this could, do we see the same coming out from both sides? I think we do. I think right now this ice wall mentality for both teams is going to really come to bear here, especially playing around drum. How are you going to deploy your walls? I mean, we saw Nos just put up some filthy walls against Ardour there. Riser didn't have the same efficaciousness of it, but we'll see if they can bring it around here on Sanctuary. Looking at sightlines, Chopper v Seeker, that's the real battle right now. Who can get the first aggression out?
I think the McCrees are going to have a lot of room to work. There's an early Immortality field already dealt with, and you can see Cloudy frozen up in the corner and does eventually go down. Icy's going to get demeched as well. So Ardour, despite not winning any engagements in our opening round, come out of the gate swinging on Sanctuary. Chopper finding a pair.
Yep, Chopper right now, you just had the better sight lines. They're up in the upper room there next to the small drum. And there is a three-piece from the McCree for Ardour. So that's going to be first capture to them. But Pascal getting the revenge back. This might be a chance for them to push in, maybe throw out an early Ant Matrix and try to pull Ardour off the line, try to pull some of those valuable cooldowns out as well.
See the placement on the Ant Matrix is going to be on the left-hand side, so you can get this angle around the center drop. Ardour is going to respond with one of their own. Icy trying to push in as Cloudy's Shatter gets blocked through the front. Now Force is going to fall back. They will deal with off in the mech as Sound Barrier is unleashed. So is the Deadeye. The Deadeye is going to find a pair. The follow-up kill is there from Chopper, looking for a fourth. Gets robbed by Off.
Yeah, Off. I mean, you got to give him the ace there. You got to let him have that, man. Greedy Diva players. But still, coming into the next fight, Ardour still has weapons and abilities to really stop the aggression coming in from Revival. I think that if you're looking for the flank right now, Seeker's got to get himself into position to drop this Deadeye and pull out that Immortality Barrier, and then you can go in with the Blizzard.
Lord Grimm and Blizzard both with ults on the other side as Seeker's trying to drop the Deadeye, but the wall is in the way. Windmill goes down early, and Cloudy is just backing up, knows the Shatter's got to be incoming. Nos is going to respond with the Blizzard of their own, but didn't seem to get much value with it. We'll find HTP. The Shatter eventually does come down. And just found one, and Chopper's able to find a pair of kills on the back of that. Ardour slowly but surely just roll over Revival, kind of like a Zamboni.
I mean, that's apt considering that we have this online, but here comes the pushback from Revival. They have points. Trying to take this point right now. They've got Winval on top of the drum trying to hold and, really trying to get this progress flipped over. I don't know if they're going to have anything to really contest this.
Nope, 99-0. Sound Barrier available for Winval. They're going to speed in, drop the Sound Barrier, and try to get Cloudy in position. Chopper is looking to respond from the back left-hand corner with that Deadeye, but can't quite find the targets. Move it in. Icy is going to get demeched. Okay, he's going to use that self-destruct to get back into mech, and Lord Grim falls. But the massive amount of damage absent from Revival's back line. Cloudy with a nice Fire Strike will finish off. And it's going to be up to Cloudy to put the damage in. Nos is going to return on the Doomfist and get that extra bit of damage back into the fight quickly as Revival get this flip.
Yep, and Shatter available into this next fight for Revival. So, I mean, really got to play mind games with Lord Grim right now and to get the massive value out of that ultimate. However, Sound Barrier is ready to go for Ardour, and we see a little bit of a switch up here from Ardour. They're bringing out the Blackout DPS of the Sombra and the Reaper. This is going to be spelling a lot of danger for Icy and Cloudy. They've got to watch their flanks now.
For Nos as well, running into a Sombra is just a Doomfist's worst nightmare. Somebody are out from Ardour to start off this next fight, and they're going to speed in and get aggressive on the back of it. Cloudy and company doing a job of coming back and drops down the hammer. Finds both tanks with that. Will get the DMAC onto off. Lord manages to stay on their feet, but they've got Cloudy behind them now, and Cloudy comes in and swings on their primary source of healing as Nos finds a pair. Make that 3 kills for the Doomfist.
Yeah, and really smart swap from Pascal as well, going over to the Moira. However, you've got to watch for this Sombra right now because Sombra is looking for the hack targets. We're looking for the manual hack. 80% already after the swap to this Blackout DPS comp. And, I mean, EMP is going to be absolutely crucial for them to get up. But WinVal closing in on the Sound Barrier. Who gets there first? I believe that WinVal is going to have that to defend against.
Self-destruct into the back as Seeker picks off the pilot Diva. Nos was able to get aggressive. Is going to use that Meteor Strike just to get out of dodge. Lord Grim going in with Shatter EMP at the ready as Ardour are looking for a way to get in, but the time is ticking against him. This is looking like final fight territory to me, as Riser is trying to decide how do they want to push in. All right, well, the rest of the team's going in. Coalescence is out. Self-destruct from Revival to try to fend off the aggression. It's going to take momentum down. Shatter comes through from Cloudy. Is going to find yet another kill, and Grims did not get nearly as much value, courtesy of Winville's Sound Barrier. And, well, Riser didn't even get a chance to use that EMP. He was dead before they could press Q. Revival are going to bring this thing back from the 99-0, and we'll take Sanctuary in our opening map of Busan. That's a heck of a start, Billy.
That's a heck of a start indeed, my friend. The swaps. I think Pascal swapping over from the Baptiste over to the Moira to give that burst healing. The Coalescence was just beautifully timed and measured and weighted into those fights, keeping the team up, the majority of the team up as best they could. So that's where I think the difference came out, is that the early swap from Pascal over to the Moira, the healing, the sustain was absolutely huge into that once, and that was where we flipped it. And then they never seemed to get back, Ardour never seemed to get back onto that ultimate economy. I mean, once that happened, you know, LH Cloudy was able to play a lot more aggressively because he knew that he had the sustain in his back. He had the speed going in as well. So everything playing into the favor of Revival there, and that's a quick 1-0 lead here in our series.
A very disciplined Revival. We saw a lot of aggression from Infected, our main tank in our last match, and then versus the aggression that Cloudy brings. Both just want to press W, want to get in and kind of get into the backline and disrupt and create a lot of space that way. But the discipline is on display from Cloudy. They're very smart on when and where they get aggressive. And Revival, they take full advantage of it there. Once they got a hold of that point, they never let it go.
They really didn't, you know, and I had the opportunity to cast Cloudy in the Kanazaka 4v4 for Europe, and I saw the Reinhardt then, and it looked super sharp. And now it's translating over here to Trials as well. So I think that LH Cloudy really bringing that veteran leadership in his iconic role, just bringing that to the team right now. Revival has got to be feeling on top of the world right now. I mean, next map is going to be Kings Row. Oh man. I don't know if I would have chosen that map with LH Cloudy on the Reinhardt, but I mean, you go with what you're strong with. And if you're feeling strong with this, if you're feeling that this is where you want to go, this is time for you to lock horns, as it were, with the king of the Reinhardts right now.
And it's going to come down to those May walls and whether you can section off the opposition Reinhardt. So it's really up to Lord Grimm, aka Vita, and LH Cloudy to try to bait out the walls, to make sure they're keenly aware in all 360 degrees of where their supports are, where they can find healing, and the timing on that cooldown. That play is going to be instrumental to being able to find the space they want to get what they to get the space they need to get the job done. Now, that's assuming we're going to see May McCree again, which I imagine we will. And unless, they try to pull out like the Doomfist or something, kind of cheeky again, in which case we may see the response, with the Sombra on the other side. In that case, I would like to see more value out of the EMPs, but I'm not sure we're going to get that just yet. Not on this map.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a full steady diet of just straight up brawl. So we will see. Brawl. I think we just go straight up brawl. I did like that Riser brought out the Sombra. I like the Blackout DPS coming in. I just don't think that they had enough time to really get the rotations and get the ultimate economy in their favor. They really focused down Riser on that Sombra, so you didn't see the value that you maybe would have realized if they would have stayed, with their original composition. But it's all to play for here. It's all to play for here, and it's our second map, and we're going to see Ardour coming out onto the defense here. So this will be a chance for Chopper and Riser to really take control of this match, and really start to put the onus of Revival bringing out their best here to stop the aggression that Revival is known for now, especially with LH Cloudy on your side. Icy, man, great use of the Diva defense matrix as well throughout that entire fight. I was just absolutely living for it.
And even without the Sombra, one of the things that's indicative to me is that Ardour were not decisive with their win conditions. They didn't identify their win conditions to enough to be aggressive with them and really be proactive with those ultimates. So even on the May McCree, I would want to see them be more proactive and more decisive at executing those win conditions, which with Riser is going to be a touch of getting the timing up on those walls and punishing on it.
Yeah, and off, taking the position on top of Mandata there. And now we're going to go ahead and see the rotations coming through, really getting that DM out early. What a great wall. What a great flashbang, and then the assassination coming through right there. LH Cloudy dropping kind of low here, but I think the sustain is going to be there. And they're going to go ahead and just take it.
That May play was beautiful. Nas just dismantled Ardour on that fight. Seeker had it the ball teed up and just had to take a swing and knocked it out of the park, hit it clean, and Revival pick up point A.
Yeah, that's just fast as you like, too, my friend. So, I mean, going into Streets phase, a little bit too fast for us to be talking about ultimate economy and such. But, I mean, we'll see as they come online. How aggressive does LH Cloudy and Icy really get here? Because we're seeing Ardour kind of take this split level approach to them, and you're trying to pull somebody up there. You're trying to pull somebody out of position and try to take the early assassination onto them and really build up your fight and potential into this.
Yeah, and speaking of ults, Pascal's going to throw it on that Ant Matrix, and that was an important one. This double damage can just carry momentum in your favor. HTP not even close, but a good May wall from Riser does deny too much follow-up, and Ardour not looking very much worse for wear. Now, they've got Sound Barrier and a Self-Destruct of their own to try to invest in this thing to get aggressive, but Blizzard and Self-Destruct come out from Revival to deny the punish on that Blizzard, and Nas and Pascal end up lighting up the feed. Revival, well, they're going to keep pressing forward. They clean up on the back of this fight.
Oh my goodness. Bullskunk, the late wall there coming out from Nos to deny the healing coming in from HTP. Oh man, that was smartly measured right there. They knew that they could just kite away from the Ant Matrix that HTP laid down. And then the late wall coming up from Nas denied the healing through that, and they were just able to cordon everybody off, take them out as fast as you like, and now Nas is going to go ahead and try and get a little aggressive here. You've got the ultimates to really push through Streets phase here. Chopper, I mean, I'm not sure how good of a Deadeye could come out here, but we'll see.
There's a nice icicle right into HTP's brain. It's a clear advantage as Seeker is able to get the better end of the duel. Lord Grim trying to bring it back with the Shatter, but the sound barrier is there from Winval, and Revival are just looking absolutely unstoppable. And I want to hark back to that previous fight because Riser should have held on to that Blizzard. You would have wanted it in that fight. It's another example of not utilizing your win condition, not identifying it quick enough.
Indeed, and now, I mean, looking at Revival, you've got the Shatter from LH Cloudy again. You've got the Amp Matrix. Now, Pascal, if you get a little bit aggressive with this and you kind of throw it up here on this corner where we see Nos at right now, you can deny all the damage coming around the corners from Ardour.
Yeah, Pascal is just holding on to it, looking for the right opportunity. We're going to get the bomb in the back. The Immortality Field wasn't used, and Winval goes down, but LH, Cloudy, and Seeker both pick up a kill. Actually, Seeker finding a pair, and it's a +2 to Revival in this attack. They've got off Frozen D-Max. D laid it back to spawn. You go. Momentum way in enemy territory. And Seeker finds a 4K before it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, they invested the Shatter into that fight and also the sound barrier. So, I mean, they've got everything to live for right now. They've got the bomb. They've got the Amp Matrix as well. They can just stop everything right now.
Off needs a big eat if they want to try to buy any more time off this clock. The Maywall coming up to deny the Deadeye, but still,
Seeker.
Riser gets found out. Seeker finds 3, finds 4 before finally going down. Oh my, Seeker is just got this gun trained firmly on the domes of Ardour.
My goodness, that was a pop-off moment if I've ever seen one. Even with the wall that was thrown up by Riser there, he didn't care. Nobody cares. Can't be asked. Can't be asked to worry about that because he just went around it and just took care of everything quick as you like. They gained time there, Bullskunk. 14 extra seconds on top of what they started with. Ardour are going to be up against it here. Let's see what Revival brings out. In terms of their defense, I think you just stay with the same right now because they have not been able to match what you are bringing in this mirror comp. And, I mean, other than the unlucky positioning of Winval there on the Lucio with the self-destruct from off, I mean, that was a pretty perfectly played map from them. They kited away from the aggression out of the Ardour Amp Matrices. And, I mean...
Revival didn't lose a single fight.
Revival did not lose a single fight. So, I mean, Nos is putting up just magical walls right now. It's everything that you want for your May player to be doing. And then Seeker, you know, with that cordoning off, LH Cloudy and Seeker are absolutely just zeroing in and getting the maximum value out of those walls. So we'll see what Ardour can do here on their own offense here. Looking for maybe a quick pickoff with Chopper on this Widowmaker.
Yep, using the defense matrix to cover the Widow for a second, but Seeker's landing headshots from there. My goodness. Seeker really dialed in right now, and it's so tough to play against a McCree that is just locked in like Seeker is. It's making Ardour's life even more difficult. As they're looking to find some room to work, but you know Nos is waiting for him with that wall. Nice bait. Lord Grim is able to stay on the safe side of the wall and is going to come charge and Ed. Pascal forced to use that IF early to try to protect Cloudy during the fight, but Nos is going to lose their own duel. Cloudy will eventually fall, and Ardour win their first engagement at King's Row.
Oh no, Pascal is kind of trapped over there in the corner. I think they're just going to try and stagger him out. I mean, he's going to try and get into the fight and stay there as long as he can. Try to make it as much time off the clock as possible. But that is the first point taken to Ardour, and they have both support ultimates going into the Streets phase. Now, Revival, I mean, basically what I would do, just hold back behind the second corner there, get your full 6, and then send Seeker off on a flank. See if he can get some value out of the Deadeye. Try to pull out the Immortality Field of HTP, but they have their own Amp Matrix to go ahead and pour through this, and we'll see if they can get any value out of it.
Yeah, Ardour can't get too liberal with the sound barrier, but the Amp Matrix they can as they catch Revival, who are trying to get aggressive. But the Amp speed is there, and they're able to run all the way back and not suffer any casualties.
Yeah, they completely devalue that Amp Matrix out of HTP, so they have their own now. So now they can actually turn it on them as well.
They're going to go speed and Ed and use the Deadeye try to find a pick along the way. Nice. Maywall is going to section off Grim and Riser from the pack, but the Sound Barrier does come through. Is able to keep him alive momentarily. And Matrix is now down. Once the Sound Barrier in your face, it's still double damage in your face, but they're forced back. Shatter in is going to find 3 for Cloudy as they get aggressive. The bomb is in, but the self-destruct doesn't find anything. The Blizzard invested as well to try to fend off this aggression, but the kill feed is going all in favor of Revival. Nothing Ardour throws out is sticking right now, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, the shatter was huge, but I think that the healing that came in from Pascal onto LH Cotty went about half health there. And, I mean, he was looking at some very dire straits. What a wall to keep this! Oh, my goodness, what a stagger onto off and off. And that's a fight win. And now they can push up. They can push up to this archway and really deny the aggression coming in from Ardour. Self-destruct there to basically get a remech if you need it. And really holding on to this sound barrier for WinVal from the incoming shatters.
Yep, and Cloudy went in deep, and the Shatter went into the back, finding 3, and Wargrim's able to pick up 1. They do lose Jumper along the way, as the Shatter comes through from Cloudy and finds a lot more. That was an earthquake in the streets of England, courtesy of LH Cloudy.
Just put a new canyon there from where that hammer landed. I'm kind of sick at my stomach with how many people hit the ground there. But HTP, you know, let's look at the positives for Ardour. They have this Ant Matrix coming into this next fight. You did get the sound barrier out, so now, you know, you have a little bit of room to work with.
Yeah, I think that Shatter caused a tsunami in Watch Point Gibraltar. That thing was huge. And Matrix out, and Nos immediately finds 2. Look at that. Double damage icicles perfectly placed between the eyes of Momentum and Chopper, and they didn't stand a chance. Nos finds 3 by the end of the fight.
Nos went from 40 to Blizzard in 3 kills. So that Ant Matrix is giving them all the extra ult charge gain that they needed. Now they're going to get aggressive. They're going to throw this. Are they going to throw it?
I'm not sure they need it. And they're just going to wall off the 2 tanks who stepped out unknowingly, just walking into the clutches of Revival, and that's just more time eaten off the clock.
Are we going to lick the front door? Are we going to touch? Yeah, they did. LH Cotty gets a gold star for the day for touching the spawn door.
Oh, Shatter's in the spawn! That's a 5-man Shatter. Look at the health bars just evaporating from our door. Oh, no. Oh, you hate to see it, Billy. You hate to see it. I mean, I don't know. That put a big smile on my face. Revival's all smiles right now, too.
They're absolutely all smiles. And I mean, they just put the 1 ultimate into that. Less than 2 minutes here, and you've got the there's the Blizzard out.
There's the Blizzard now. They're just rotating this out beautifully. I mean, Revival know exactly what they want to do. 2 fights in ahead. I mean, they are reading this chess match, multiple moves beforehand. They know they've got mate in 5. I mean, unless there's just some unforeseen rook from the side that they are going to get caught off by, and I don't see that happening right now, Billy.
Oh, look at this. We've gotten off and off, switching to the Roadhog, so we're going to try and pull somebody in, get a quick assassination, and try to go in there. But there's the Ant Matrix coming through the door.
Yeah, Revival are just reading the rotations nicely. Ardour does manage to get out and try to push past, but so they just throw a wall up. They're like, nah, you're not going anywhere. You're just stuck between an ice wall and a hard place. Off does finally make it to Cart to at least force Revival to turn their heads away from the spawn doors.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, they've got both tank ultimates going into this next fight. You're sub 1 minute now. 4 on the line for Ardour. They're going to have to bring something, a hero play, just to get it through the streets phase. This is looking like a second point hold for Revival unless something absolutely drastically changes here.
Body Shatter does get blocked. Grim Shatter finds 4. That could be just the momentum they needed. 2 kills on the back of it, including Pascal and Seeker. So Ardour are fed up. They've had enough, and they'll at least get a little bit of feels good off of that fight win.
Absolutely, they will, and they'll get the cart progress, which is even more important than the feel good part of that. And they still have both their DPS ultimates to push through this next point. So I mean, there's going to be a contest coming in here from Nos. I mean, get the touch there, see what you can get out of it. Isaac can throw the self-destruct over as well.
Indeed, WinVal should have this sound barrier online for the Blizzard incoming. As Chopper's Deadeye is just going to zone Revival out for a minute, and then Ardour's going to go ahead and invest that Ant Matrix aggressively. But Cloudy is going to find the kill, and I think Revival are going to be able to push past the Ant Matrix and put up a stall. In fact, Cloudy finds a pair of kills, and here comes Revival emerging onto the point, ready to put the boot on the car on King's Row. Overtime Wick is going to burn down, and Revival take the map, and a 2-0 lead here in Contenders Trials Day 2.
Ooh, that was aggressive and very bloody for Ardour there.
That was a master.
LH Cloudy was putting on a masterclass of how to be the Alpha Ryan, and he absolutely did that. And then the rest of the team just following up behind it. I mean, there was not much that Ardour could do to really counter what LH Cloudy and the team were bringing. I mean, they were just following up his lead the entire time. Nos put on a clinic there. Seeker put on a clinic there. I mean, it was just beauty at its finest if you are Revival. Ardour have got to have a halftime talk with their players and really figure out what they want to do to try to take the dominant feel out of Revival's squad right now.
We've already seen one reverse sweep today. Can Ardour bring it back? Give the halftime prep talk of the century. I can't wait to find out. We're going to take a short break. We'll return with map 3 in just a few. Revival up 2-0 right now over Ardour in day 2 of Contenders Trials. You know, there's sometimes when you look at a 2-0 scoreline and you're like, hey, but don't make no mistake, these maps were close. You know, it was very tight. No, this is so far been incredibly one-sided, Dylan.
It's the Cloudy Show, and everybody's here along for the ride. Really, LH Cloudy has been the catalyst for this Revival team, and what a massive pickup. I said it at the beginning, I'll say it again. I'm actually in the Revival server. I'm doing content creation for them, and boy, oh boy, when I saw his name come up, I just squeed on the inside like the fanboy that I am. And yeah, so he's putting on exactly what I expected to see out of him. You're seeing the veteran leadership. You're seeing the beautiful positioning, the dropping of the shatters. I mean, yeah, Lord Grim got a bigger shatter in the Streets phase, but the value that you see from the Cloudy shatters, the follow-up that comes from behind it, I think that's the big difference. I think that they have their cooldowns in line when he drops the hammer, and you're seeing it on screen. You're seeing when he drops the hammer, the rest of Revival is just in there. They're swarming on the targets, and Spawn Shatter is a real thing. We need to make that today a hashtag. It needs to be trending on Twitter.
Yeah, it is today. Revival really looking to get in the heads of Ardour and just kind of shut down their mental. And right now, if you're them, you got to put all that out of your mind. You got to come out. I mean, we're going to map 3. It's their map pick. They've chosen Lijiang Tower as the third time's a charm. We are indeed going to Lijiang. That's the one. That's the one. Go back to control. And okay, if you're Ardour, you're just praying you don't get control center to start things off. B, I'm curious if you can give us a different look. So far, the Brawl v Brawl isn't going in your favor. I mean, that's a bit of an understatement. But you come out and you just need to win one round at a time. Show us some versatility. And show us some mental fortitude. And it's all about recognizing those win conditions. This is a theme I keep going back to through this series. And Revival really understood it. And they were able to execute it with absolute confidence. I mean, that was the Spawn Shatter was a result of that incredible understanding of their win condition and knowing they could execute. And that's something Ardour has really needs to. I want to see more of that. I need to see them be more proactive in understanding their win conditions right now, as we're going to start off on Night Market.
We are, and I mean, I'm of course expecting the double Symmetras trying to get to the window first, but look at what a Revival and Ardour. I mean, Ardour is bringing out something a little bit more reminiscent of a control center lineup here. We'll see how this goes, though. I mean, walls are going to be more important for Nos to stop the damage coming in. We'll see who gets the point first, though.
The Junkrat is incredibly powerful in this very first fight because you just throw mines right on top of the teleporter. But the wall is there from Nos to kind of deny any of that right out of the gate, as Revival using this most aggressive form of Brawl. If you thought Revival could not get any more aggressive, they're now running the Bulldozer comp. As Riser's able to throw in a couple mines. First one finds Icy, but the rest is all going in Revival's favor. Despite first pick going Ardour's way, the fight's going Revival's.
Yeah, and I mean, taking the Junkrat out absolutely destroys any semblance of the damage coming in from Ardour, and this is just really turning into a disgusting situation. Photon barrier already available to Seeker. That's first capture to them, and man, I mean, just the absolute biggest amount of damage that you could possibly bring to this, other than maybe running the Rhine Zarya and getting a juiced up Zarya. This is it. So we'll see if Chopper and company can get onto the point here and start to create havoc for a Revival. Riser, with this Riptire coming up online, might be able to dislodge him off the point.
Net Matrix out from Revival to start things off. Riptire coming out from Riser. It's going to loop around through the back. Looking, nope, just a nice block there. Goes up top, finds Windveil. That's a good start. As Lord Grim with the Shatter has just needs nothing but shields in their face, and the main tanks are just going to go brawl it out in the courtyard. Icy will get a pin, goes down, but LH Cloudy there with the Primal helps clean things up, finding 3.
Yep, and I mean we've got the Blizzard online too, so nothing ventured, nothing lost. Icy does lose his life in that fight, but right now you're just getting comp diffed by Revival and the aggression that's being shown by them. They're able to speed in and out of these fights. I mean you've got the sound barrier to keep you up through the mid fight now as we cross on to 75%. I mean you've already really exhausted one of your win conditions. You got a singular target out of it, and now what do you build off of it?
And I think Windval can use this sound barrier just for them to get aggressive. Shatter comes through, and Windval's actually going to use it to defend against that. Managed to get the Shatter in, but no kills as a result of Lorgrim's 4-man Shatter. Nos does get their Blizzard eaten. A beautiful play from off, but it's not going to be enough as there's just 4 kills in the feed. And the overtime wake's already starting to burn. 99-0, and there's nobody left to touch. Revival continue their streak and take Night Market 100-0.
Yep, and I mean it was just the sustain. It was the sustain and the blocking of any kind of pathing that Ardour wanted to do. Nos was putting up some filthy walls, just denying the aggression coming from Ardour. They get lucky here that they don't see Control Center. This might be a chance for them to maybe pull something different out of their bag of tricks. But I mean, look at Revival. If they're going to go ahead and bring this out, I mean, you're going into a double shield variant. You're going to have the CC ability. Well, no, I get you baited. Okay, I see what you're doing to me. I see you're trying to make me look bad here. I get that. But I mean, if they run this May McCree variant once again, it's all about getting to the point first. Nobody's using a Symmetra teleporter here, so it's all about getting to the point first and just start swinging. And that's what LH Cloudy wants to do.
No Symmetra, no Wrecking Ball on guard. Traditionally very strong Wrecking Ball map, so these two teams are just going to brawl over this center pillar. It's all about maintaining control of this courtyard. LH Cloudy actually goes down first, courtesy of a beautiful wall there from Riser. Now Ardour free to move on to the point and just fend off the incoming aggression. I mean, Seeker does pick up one, but it's not going to be...
Oh.
Okay, well, Seeker picks up another one as Momentum sticks their head out above the shield, and Seeker immediately puts a bullet right between the eye, follows it up with a kill on the Lord Grim as well, and despite the early deficit, it's Revival who gets first control.
I mean, and Seeker, individual hero plays right there. That was exactly what they needed, and the sustain just stayed up. Even though LH Cloudy did drop first in that fight because of a beautiful wall coming out of Riser, they just kited back. They just started pouring the damage in. They started working on Lord Grim's shield, and it started to crack, and they had to flash it away. So, man, great plays from Revival there. Deadeye is already online, so Chopper will be able to answer here in a couple of headshots.
And a pretty big mistake for Momentum to stick their head up right in front of Seeker's Peacekeeper. That meant the speed was no longer there. Ant Matrix out from Pascal. The wall is going to get whittled down, and now the shot's pouring through from Seeker once again. Riser falls as the sound barrier is unleashed from Ardour to try to bring him back in this fight, but Chopper's in a lot of trouble. Chased down, hunted, and sent back to spawn in a body bag. Now the Blizzard's out on the point to help seal the deal. That's 1, that's 2 for Nos. And now the sound barrier is invested. Revival just will not be dislodged. They lose a couple members here and there, but they still manage to emerge victorious.
Yep, and I mean, it was a great fight. And I mean, just a last-minute immortality barrier, just in case they needed to hold everything up. Boop! From Windval, are you kidding me? Oh, no. That is not choice vittles there for Ardour. And now Ultimate's all in favor of Revival. You have everything that you need to really hold this point and get yourself a 3-0 sweep and get a nice early night off.
I mean, if Riser can get this Blizzard in past Icy, be a great opportunity. Oh, the long distance pin and the Shatter coming through. Doesn't find a whole lot. The counter Shatter's going to pick off Pascal in the back. Chopper's already found 2, but they've lost 2 the other way. LH Cloudy does pick up a pair before going down. Chopper trying to hold on, but didn't have any health. Pascal finishing them off. Now we're down to a 2v1, 2v2 on this point. I think it's just a Lucio left from Revival, who does manage to get it to 99.
Yeah, I mean, here comes the reinforcements as well. Icy getting onto the point through the window. LH Cloudy on the scene. Seeker dropping in with a Pharah now, and Nos going over to the Echo. So we have a bit of a switch here to see what we can get out of this.
Pulling out the Air Force to help finish off the series. Blizzard out, and Icy is going to get demexed because of it. Ardour do have placement, and they have a Deadeye they're throwing down. Revival almost got caught by the wall, but we're able to find cover. Offen's getting a D-Max by the focusing being from Nos as LH Cloudy throws down a massive shatter on the point. 3-4 kills for LH Cloudy. Make that 5. A explosive way to finish off our series. A fitting end for Ardour, I'm afraid, as Revival still have not dropped a map in 2 days of Contenders Trials.
Yeah, that's going to put them firmly at the top of our round robin standings here, going 2-0 and now +6 in their map differential, and it was just main tank difference all day long. Main tank difference just was everything on the platter today, and they served it up in spades. I've gotten my fill, and I mean, that was pretty conclusive coming out of Revival. They've got to be happy moving forward in our Trials tournament. They take the 2-0 win tonight.
Yeah, a very, very convincing win. Again, I mean, as I said prior to map 3, like there's some of those you look at and you go, but hey, don't be fooled. It was actually close. This is not one of those. This was a dominant performance from Revival, really making a statement to the other 5 teams in Contenders Trials NA. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if there's anything stopping this train right now. I mean, just the supports. I mean, we saw WinVal come in for the LEP in their own right, and just it was just slotting in another piece of the machine there. I mean, Pascal doing Pascal things all night long, keeping the team up through all these brutal fights that we saw, and I mean, just the work that was being done by Nos. I mean, Nos on this May, probably my player of the match. I think that so much was based off of their wall placement, their ability to use the blizzard, their ability to stay up and contest points or contest payloads with the ice block. I think that they really turned it on tonight, and I don't want to take anything away from anybody else, but I mean, I think Nos that really had a night to really be proud of.
Agreed. I mean, it made everybody else's job easy. Yeah, I mean, that was. It's hard to deny Seeker on that one, or Cloudy for that matter. Seeker was just very warmed up. That was an insane performance on the McCree as well. But I agree, like Nos was the one making their lives easy every step of the way, setting up those kills and just serving them on a platter for the rest of Revival to feast on.
Yep, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful night for both the DPS. I think it was just a very well-coordinated machine tonight, led by, of course, LH Cloudy on the main tank. And I mean, he just absolutely brought that veteran leadership onto the squad here. And they do take a really convincing 3-0 win. I mean, I think that the rest of NA Trials have got to sit up and take notice of this team.
Yeah, so Ardour falling to 0-2 after 2 days. Obeo Alliance, I believe, are 1-1 as they took a 3-0 win over Wisp yesterday. Susanoo moving up to 2-0, but that wasn't a map 5 thriller, and Revival moving up to 2-0 without dropping a map yet so far. So they're clearly on top. I believe Maryville played Wisp earlier. That was the other game from NA, and I don't believe we saw that on stream. So I'm not quite sure of that result. But as it stands, I mean, yeah, you've got Revival and Susanoo who are undefeated, the only 2 undefeated teams left, and man, I mean, what a performance from Revival. They're firmly on top of the pack right now, Billy.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking through our notes over here on my other screen, Wisp won 3-1 over Maryville today. So they
were sitting 1-1 now.
They were sitting 1-1 now as well. So I think Susanoo and Revival sitting on 2-0. Of course, Revival now being on a +6 differential. It'll be Susanoo on +4. And I mean, it was just a beautiful match from them. And looks like our interview candidate is in here. I had a chance to interview him in Kanazaka and now here in Trials, LH Cloudy. Welcome to the broadcaster.
Hello.
Well, that was a dominant performance. I've got to ask about the spawn shatter. Like, just walk me through that. Like, were you just feeling your oats on that one? Like, tell me what was going on in comms. Tell me what's going on in your head as you shatter 5 inside of their spawn point.
I mean, I just do shatter when I feel like it. If I'm feeling it, it works like 99% of the time. Sometimes I feed, but usually works.
It was something to behold. That's for sure, my friend. That's for sure.
So going into trials, I mean, I saw you join the team in the Revival server, and I was just squeeing with joy seeing that you were being part of the squad. How do you guys feel after your first 2 games of trials? You guys look like a well-oiled machine. I mean, it seems like it's almost too easy at points.
I mean, I do think we're very good at the rush composition when we play it, so like, it's very good. Everyone in our team is like top tier in their role, so it's pretty easy for us.
Is there anybody in trials or even in currently sitting in Contenders proper that you're looking out for, or you think could give you a run for your money?
No. Seagull Gaming dominates everyone. There is no hope for opponent.
That's what I like to hear, my friend. That's what I like to hear. So moving in, coming into this Revival team, I guess that's just kind of a follow-up question, but what are your expectations going into the 2021 season with this Revival squad?
I mean, obviously we want to win. You should always try to win. Only expectation is to win. That's all I have to say.
All about those dubs.
Yep.
Do you have any shout-outs you want to throw out to anybody out there, Cloudy?
Shout out to my teammates. Very good gaming today. Great job. That's all I got.
Well, congratulations on the win. We look forward to seeing more Revival throughout trials and the rest of Contenders. Good luck in your future matches.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
There you have it, the man, the myth, the legend, LH Cloudy, maintaining extraordinaire. Appreciate his thoughts and appreciate y'all hanging out with us here in day 2 of Contenders Trials. It's been a heck of a day. We had 3 very tightly contested series, 3 map 5s, then Revival just putting on a clinic here for our final series of the day. But hey, it was a lot of fun, Billy. It was a ton of fun.
I mean, just to mirror the last comp that they threw onto Night Market, Bulldozer. From Revival there. Absolutely flattened Ardour. Got to take that on the chin, and GG's go next, and hopefully they can come back in their next match, which I believe will be on Wednesday. I'm not sure if it's Wednesday or Thursday. I think it is Wednesday. But good luck to them in their next match. But of course, we do see the 3-0 win there from Revival. Susanoo, 3-2 winners over Obey Alliance. It's been a heck of a day. Whoo, man. I have been really pleased and just surprised and loving being back here in support tier 2.
Absolutely. A big shout out to the people behind the scenes. We had a Blizzard producer, we had Juke on the cams, and a special thank you to Monkey Bubble Reflash for giving Billy and myself the privilege and the pleasure to cast these wonderful matches for you today. Most of all, thank you all for hanging out with us and enjoying some Contenders Trials Overwatch. We will return on Wednesday and keep it going. We'll see the final 3 days of competition and determine who makes it into Contenders proper for the first season of 2021. Until then, y'all look out for each other in game and out, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Love y'all.